This is the Big O Show. 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 This is
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for ejdconstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Ready to rock and roll, baby, on a beautiful Thursday from beautiful Hialeah Park. We are out here in the second floor poker room. So come on out and say hi. Would love to see you out here at Hialeah. We're out here for a couple of hours. Thank you all. And thank you for hanging in there. And thank you for all the kind words and all the DMs that you all sent and posts on some of the social media sites wondering what the hell happened to me. And, well, 2 nights ago, I got attacked by a tooth here and a tooth here. So I was at the doctor's office, the dentist's office yesterday for several hours doing 2 root canals. So, yeah, I did not have a good night 2 nights ago. Did not sleep much. At 4 a.m, I'm at a 24-hour CVS getting some Oragel. You've been there, right?
Been there, done that. And then I ended up getting goodies.
Yeah.
And I paid I went on Amazon and got the case, not the case, but with 50 packs in it.
Right.
So then all I was doing was opening them up and just pouring them right on the tooth.
Yeah, that's I did a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. And because I knew I wasn't going to get any help at that moment.
Yeah, no, not a lot you can do at 4 a.m.
There's not much you can do, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, man. And so I had a really long night. I couldn't sleep. There was no way I was going to do the show. I'm not good. My voice is not good when I don't sleep. If I don't sleep, then I easily can burn my voice out. And so these are the little things you learn over the years. And as you get older, you just, I'm not a 16, 18, 24-year-old that can just go for 2 days straight. And, so it was a really bad night. And I could not do the show. And so I told Sean, hey, man, just run inside the paint. And we'll reschedule Matt Verderame for today, which will be today at 3:30. And we'll have Marcel at 4 and Poupart at 5, which are our usual guys. So I appreciate all of you out there and all the kind words. So I was just going through some really, really ugly moments a couple nights ago. And I'm just glad that I was able to, finally overcome it and get on the air and get back in a groove here, man. Because, boy, that was rough, dude. Two root canals, man. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Funny thing is Eric Murias Dental, which is my dentist in Hialeah, and great family, great practice. If you need a family dentist with the most modern technology out there to make your life a lot easier and less pain and all that, they don't sponsor anything here, but I believe in them for sure. And Murias Dental. And so I'm there. And the funny part is he works on the bottom one, right? And he clears it all out and all that, because what it was an old filling that busted up, and so it was just, it's like 20 years old or whatever, and so it ran its course, and it had some leakage, and it got down to the the nerves, which those nerves are
it's over after that.
It's over after that. And so once he clears all that up, and he kills the nerves and all that like they normally do, which, by the way, I wish, I know you can't disconnect all your teeth and then connect them back up again, but wouldn't it be the best if you disconnected them all and then killed all the nerves and then put them all back in place? That way, for sure, that would save you. Yeah, but it would save you a lot of pain down the line.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, but you need to be like knocked out when they do this.
Okay, as long as you're knocked out, because I can tell you now, and look, I can take a little bit of pain, but I was like, after I had my tooth done, and afterwards, it was like my whole mouth was just like,
I know,
as the numbness was going away, it almost hurt more coming out of the numbness than I think my tooth.
Yeah,
but again,
that's the trauma.
My tooth was getting near the end anyway, so the deadening of the pain was starting to happen.
Right, but that's the trauma you suffered too.
Yeah.
It's trauma.
Yeah, so I can imagine unplugging.
So he clears out the first one, right, and he goes, all right, let's take a break here, because then they come back to take an X-ray to make sure everything is cleared out and all that. You know what I mean? So make sure they do things the right way. So she does the whole X-ray, and then all of a sudden, dude, the tooth at the top, I mean, just explodes like a volcano, like the pain, like bam. And I'm like, oh, call Eric right now. I need to get numbed. And she runs to go get, bro, hurry up, get this thing. And he numbed it right away. And I was like within a minute, I was like, oh, thank you. Because it had subsided. And the problem was that once I eliminated this one,
then you can feel the other one.
It kicked in, bro. And I was like, oh, no, this is last night again. No, stop, hurry up. And
God, imagine if you would have left and then it happened.
Oh, no. It was discovered that it was those two. And I was like, no, I got pain here, and all that. But wow, dude. Hate it, bro. Hate it. And I have the worst luck with my teeth. I floss a couple times a day. I brush my teeth, and I've been my own worst enemy. I have nobody to blame but myself, okay? When I make a mistake, I will admit that I make my mistake and I screwed up. It's the Coke. All the Coke that I've drank over the years, I think it's ruined the acrylics on my teeth or whatever the hell, or it's just, what are you going to do? So it sucks.
As I sit here and pour me more of my Coke out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So dangerous, so bad for you, but so damn delicious. The root canal hurt just like the pain of the heat loss last. Nah. It sucked last night. Now, I didn't know that if you twist your foot up like a pretzel, you will actually play better. Had no idea that that's how it works. Because Schroeder, twists up his ankle, and I mean, I thought it was broken, bro.
He's that small alien from Space Jam.
That's something, yeah. Must have been when he had gold hair. It added some strength to him back in the day. I don't know why why did he not? Why doesn't he color his hair gold in that spot anymore? Doesn't do that anymore. That was kind of stylish. It was kind of like something you'd never seen. True Fin Fan 78, thank you for the love in the super chat. Had me like a crackhead through withdrawals. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. A lot of you were very nice about missing the show, and I normally we don't miss. Sean and I, we grind, and I don't mind. I love working. I love doing this. I love being able to try to bring a good sports talk show that's geared to South Florida sports fans around the world, and attacking, of course, all the major stories too in sports, and so I enjoy putting that kind of a show together for you all every single day. When I miss it, there's something going on. Okay, because I'm not really much of I have yet to even take a vacation since we restarted this podcast in well over a year.
So it's about to be 2 years. So yeah, it's crazy. So, but we'll get through it. We'll have some fun, and we'll rock and roll, and we'll get this all ready to go, and we'll have some fun. All right, we got Verderame at 3:30. We got Marcel at 4. We got Poupart at 5. First of all, let me clear up some stuff here, because I'm glancing at the chat board on YouTube, and remember, not only can you send in the super chat on YouTube, but another way to reach out to us and get a question, a comment, an insult, a compliment, it's also on Venmo and Cash App at Cash Big O Show. That's the address, Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. And some people are like, here, Skyler Tipton. You're desperate when you have to pick up Glennon. Well, I just want you guys to know, okay, the Mike Glennon thing. Let me bring the reality of what's going on, okay? Because sometimes you need perspective, because some people are like they don't really understand what's going on, and they say, Mike Glennon, dude, why don't you get somebody better? No, you can't actually. Look, you're in the final week of the season. They only need you for this game. That's it. So if you have a better quarterback than Mike Glennon that's been sitting out the entire year, and maybe he's been on the couch hanging out with the family and he's out of shape, so I'm sure they picked up the phone. They didn't want to get another young quarterback, because that doesn't help. You want to get a veteran quarterback, somebody who has experience. But if you went out there and talked to a couple of veteran quarterbacks, and maybe they were like, yeah, no, I've been on the couch, I'm completely out of shape, whatever. Or some of them are also going to tell you, this is the part you guys don't think about, some of you don't think about, why am I going to come back? I'm retired, bro. I got my money in the bank. I'm hanging out with my wife and kids. Every quarterback on your team gets injured. You want me to come play for you? And what am I going to spend my entire offseason rehabbing? For one game? No, dude, I don't need that. I've played in the league for 10, 15, 20 years. Whatever it is that you were finding guys, 7, 10, 12, they have their money. They made their money. They don't need one game check for a couple $100,000 or something. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to, so you're really not going, if you got like a pretty good player, he probably won't come back for one game. It doesn't, because he has no future. And then you're not going to get another young guy behind Skyler, because you already have a young guy in Skyler. You don't need another guy that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You know what I mean? So Mike Glennon's actually played some games. Mike Glennon is dying to be a part of the league. Mike Glennon is trying to keep his career alive. So he'll come for one game, because if he actually does play, he has a chance to showcase his skills. Not that his skills are anything good. I mean, when I think about Mike Glennon, I think he's the human periscope. I think if he was in the Navy and he was working on a sub, they wouldn't need a periscope. Up Glennon. You seen his neck? That thing is like, 10 feet long. So you don't need a periscope if you have Mike Glennon. That's why he can see over the top of the offensive lineman. Not only is he tall, it's that neck of his. I don't know if he puts on his off time, he's adding rings and he's carrying baskets around. Not exactly sure what he's done to extend that neck, but when I look at Mike Glennon, got a hell of an arm. You'll see that. Now he has no idea where it's going. Okay? But he's an experienced guy. He's been around on a couple teams. So what the hell? Bring him in. At this point, you're not going to get the creme de la creme. You're not even going to get the best available veteran quarterback, because that veteran quarterback has no interest on coming back to a team for 1 week to back up and possibly play and possibly get injured and spend his entire rest of 2023 rehabbing at 35, at 37 years old. They don't want that. So there's a lot of factors. Also, the week you're asking somebody to come take a risk for you, I'm not trying to make light of this, is the week of Damar Hamlin. Which now that Damar Hamlin situation, which by the way is good now neurologically, everything's going well and everything. He's even able to write and everything, communicate. So it's pretty cool. He's not talking, but he's communicating. And so there's a lot of good news there, but still, that put a shocker on everybody. So can you imagine a veteran player that, oh, hey, honey, Dolphins called me for one. No. You don't need one game. We have money, sweetheart. You don't need it. We paid our bills. We don't need it. So now you got to deal with the wife also. Anybody married out there? Huh? So it's not that simple to pick up a guy and don't think that you're going to get an excellent player for one game, the final game of the season, on a team that really has not had any luck with their quarterbacks. So it's really, really tough. So the Mike Glennon signing, he's a jag, but this is what you're going to get at this point. That's what you're going to get. It's nothing. You got to count on Skyler. Let's hope he can stay in the lineup. Let's hope he can play his best football. But the Mike Glennon stuff, don't overreact on it. It's not a big deal. It is what it is in the worst time of the year to try to get a player. The final game of the regular season just doesn't make it a good situation. Yes, sir.
Well, True Fin Fan 78 kind of hits on, but did you see the little meme that's going around, the picture somebody created?
Of what?
The movie We Bought a Zoo.
Oh, no.
It's got Stephen Ross, and then it's got Jalen Waddle, which is the penguin.
The penguin, okay.
You've got
the
cheetah, and now Mike Glennon's a giraffe.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, and then so it's like We Bought a Zoo, and it's Stephen Ross' picture with the three of them.
I like it. Where's the Yorkie?
No Yorkie. The Yorkie.
They don't understand that story yet.
No,
huh?
They don't got that story yet. And also, real quick,
only on this show you would understand what Yorkie means. Only on this show you would understand what Yorkie means.
And then,
although there's some people in the chat were going, "What the hell is
a Yorkie?" Yeah.
What does he mean by the Yorkie? Who's the Yorkie?
They're probably thinking beard wise, like
yeah.
But Jules, we're always Thursday 3 p.m.
That's yeah. Oh yeah. Why they say? Oh yeah. Somebody always pops in like you're late or something.
Oh yeah. You make your own schedule. We have no schedule anymore, so
yeah. No. It's 10 a.m. every week, every day, except for Thursdays. We're here 3 to 6. This is normal. This is our normal time. You're probably just not adjusted to it. That's all. But yeah, this is our normal time on Thursdays. We're right on time, actually. True Fin Fan says Mike Glennon goes to the zoo. Giraffes feed him. Thank you for the super chat. True Fin Fan, I appreciate you, man. Big O, all Mike Glennon has to do is manage the game and just hand the ball off or throw to Tyreek or Waddle on short passes and maybe one long one, but see what Thompson has his first quarter. Richard, you don't want Mike Glennon playing. Do you understand that, Richard? You want Skyler Thompson. No matter what he's looked like, he knows the offense even better than Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon knows defense is better than him right now, but he's not going to know the offense better than Skyler right now. And Mike Glennon is not the answer. Do not even think that, oh my God, we got to pull him right away and go for Mike Glennon. That's not the solution. Mike Glennon is only to be played is if Skyler's just giving the ball away. Mike Glennon's only to be played if Skyler gets injured. Mike Glennon only plays in the worst possible scenario. Mike Glennon is not the answer. See, this is the problem that we have. You people cheer on Mike White because he's from here, but you actually really don't watch the games and you see he's a jag. Same shit happens. Same shit happened with Teddy Bridgewater. Most of you never watch Teddy Bridgewater week in and week out in Minnesota. So you don't know anything about Teddy Bridgewater. You just know his high school and what he did at Louisville, and he's a fantastic young man, so you think he's going to take to his job. A few of you idiots, actually. Okay, whatever percentage of you idiots, and you are an idiot, by the way. Just make sure you look at yourself in the mirror, because I do it all the time. When I do stupid things, I just say, damn, that was dumb on my part. That was just stupid on my part. But at least I'm willing to admit, So those of you, you don't watch Teddy Bridgewater either. That's why you say that stuff, because I can always tell the people that actually watch the games. I can always tell because I watch the games. So if I know what's going on, I know you don't know anything about Teddy Bridgewater. Anybody that thought Teddy Bridgewater was going to carry you anywhere, you're clueless. That's all. You're just going off the name, off the hype, off the recruiting, off of whatever he did at Louisville. That's all you're going off of. But you actually look at the player. You don't watch Mike Glennon, Richard. You don't want Mike Glennon playing. Trust me, you don't want Mike Glennon playing. Listen, the sun shines on every dog's ass every once in a while. And maybe it happens to Mike Glennon, okay? But I don't want Mike Glennon playing. I want Skyler Thompson to stay in the game. I want Skyler Thompson to get it done. That's really the only way. Now, I will tell you this about Skyler Thompson. Let's talk a little Skyler Thompson here now. Remember I told you last week was an enormous game for Teddy Bridgewater? And he failed. Teddy Bridgewater lost money in the offseason. Why? Because Teddy Bridgewater proved that he's fragile, and he's also proven that he's really not that effective. He's just, a game manager on his best day. So all that talk about, he's one of the best backups in the NFL. Oh, please, give me a break. It's like Mad Dog used to say, what are we going to talk about, the valedictorian of summer school? Come on, man. There aren't even 32 good ones. What, are we worried about backups too? You don't even have 32 starters. So we're going to start measuring the bad backups when you have bad starters in the first place? Come on. So Teddy killed his value for the offseason. He will earn less money in the offseason now as a backup than he did this year. He will have to take less money because he's not reliable. Skyler Thompson has played more than any of us ever expected as a 7th-round pick. So now that's a good thing and that's a bad thing. Because if you don't perform every time they give you the ball, that's not good. And if he gets injured in this game, now you've gotten injured twice. You couldn't finish the games 2 times when we dialed you up. That's not a good look for him. So he's got to prove durability. And this is a really important game for him, for his future. Do you know why I say this? Because if they find another backup quarterback, a young guy, remember what we talked about? I'm going to steal it again from Manny Navarro. Let's say a Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. You take him in the 2nd or 3rd rounds as a project guy. Maybe you say, well, that's going to be our future there. Now, he's injured, so maybe early on you can still keep Skyler and then cut him and then activate Hendon Hooker. But that's the other thing about Skyler. Skyler has to show improvement in his play. As he continues to get opportunities, which he continues to get opportunities, you have to start to show that you're effective. You have to start to show that you can produce. So believe it or not, this is actually a very important game for Skyler if the Dolphins are going to continue to invest in him. Because they're going to be put in a very difficult situation next year. They have to bring back Tua because he's the best quarterback you've had since Marino. His stats are still, with all the games he's missed, he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. That tells you got to keep the guy. You got to hope that he can figure out how to stay on the damn field, like we talked about earlier in this week. But you still got to think, okay, you got to bring him back. But like I told you guys, if you're going to bring him back, you got to have a better plan B than Teddy B. So if you have a better plan B than Teddy B and Tua gets injured again, well, then that plan B has to be ready to roll, and it can't be Skyler because he's not ready yet for that. Unless he goes out this week and starts lighting it up, and then we say, whoa, the light went on. But, because it is a good defense if he can actually play well. But this is a really important game for Skyler. He has to show some improvement. He has to show that he has learned something. He has to show that he can stay on the field. He has to show that he can make good decisions out there, because they don't want to look at it and say, yeah, he's talented, but now he doesn't do this, doesn't do that. If we find a better young backup, we'll get him and we'll drop Skyler. So Teddy Bridgewater already screwed up his value in the offseason. Skyler Thompson, if he wants to stay in the NFL and get a chance of development, Because if the Dolphins cut you, there's no guarantee anybody else is going to pick you up. And if they don't, then you're at the XFL. And you're at other leagues trying to work your way back here. So this is a really important game also for Skyler Thompson. I believe he has to have some kind of a performance here that shows you, okay, we can work with this. If it's an outright unmitigated disaster, you may have to try to move on also because you've given him several shots. All right, Big O, I'm an old man like you are, and I watched the Dolphins in the 70s till now, and I went to Miami Springs and knew Bill, R.I.P., and his sister Dawn. Awesome, Richard. But I still will say to you, you don't want Mike Glennon starting. You don't want him playing. I'm telling you, he's bad. I'm a Tua guy all the way, says Richard. And I want Thompson to make it through the whole game. Tua's my quarterback. Okay. All right. Just make sure you don't. No Mike Glennon. Cap for Life says Barry Jackson reported, yeah, I saw it. Tua's in the early stages of concussion protocol. Does that mean that anyone who thinks he's coming back to play for the playoffs still has hope? I can't answer that. But, Cap, I already told you what I feel. I don't think you play Tua at all this year. I think you cannot risk another concussion. I think it's imperative for him to have the entire offseason to heal and to reflect and to have an opportunity to come back and correct his issues. Okay? That's what I feel. I don't think you should even, you're not going anywhere anyway. Let's be honest. Okay? You're not going anywhere. I think I'd rather protect Tua's future than risk it by playing him. Because if he gets concussed again, oh my God. No. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't coach him. By the way, our friends at redrecover.com, they got something going on, baby. Oh, yeah. And go to redrecover.com so you can find out more about red light therapy. We've been telling you about it now. We got a hell of a sale going on right now. It's a limited time New Year's sale, 50% off. 50% off everything. So whatever you want to order, an elbow wrap, a knee wrap, for the bottom of your feet, back, neck, shoulder, you name it. Wherever you may have an issue, red light therapy can help you. Whether it's an old surgery, an old injury, you name it, or it's even great for your workouts too. To optimize your workouts, you can use the wraps before and after, like, of course, Hayden Hurst does, tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals. He actually started off really well in that game. He was playing really well in that game the other night. Hayden Hurst uses Red Recover before and after his workouts. I use Red Recover for my shoulder, and my shoulder issue gone, baby, because I'm a side sleeper, and I don't know what I did, but I might have tweaked something. I had a bunch of soreness, and I've been using the Red Recover wrap, and now I still use it because obviously I still lay on my shoulder, so I'm trying to make sure I optimize it. My man Sean has one knee from his days as a Marine, jumping out of a plane, and he's got bone on that knee, and he uses, even for somebody with bone on bone, it helps alleviate the discomfort, gets the blood flowing. I'm telling you, even if, how about this? For anybody who has surgery and you have a scar and you're worried that scar may last forever, and you're worried, oh man, did the doctor do the surgery the right way, that maybe the scar can disappear? Well, red light therapy can also help that scar completely disappear. Yeah, man. Go to redrecover.com. Take advantage right now. New Year sale, limited time, 50% off. redrecover.com. All right. What else do we have here? If there's no chance for Tua coming back in the playoffs, what's the point if we win this week? We're losing to whoever we play in the playoffs if we make it. Probably, and you'll probably lose with Tua also. I mean, it's not a good team. You're going to end up playing the Bills, and they're so injured, man. It's just hard the way they're at right now. It's just really, really tough. But what you can't do is risk Tua's future. I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever to play the young man right now. You're going to play him in 10 days? Really? 9 days, basically? I don't think that's smart. In 9 days, he's going to be recovered from that. He's had legally, officially, whatever you want to call it, concussions. And I'm just going to throw the Buffalo in there like a third. Even though he came back. As you gather information in life, you then change your mind and you change your opinion on something. And for me, as he piled on each concussion, it happened even easier. And that third one happened, it wasn't anything like the other two. So I would not risk him at all in the regular season, or even if they by chance make the playoffs this week. I would stay status quo with Skyler, or if Teddy can come back, who knows? But that's a broken finger. That's going to be tough for him. I mean, hell, Mike was kind of, sending us a bunch of BS. Well, no, we're not ruling him out yet, but he can't throw a football. So on a Wednesday, you can't throw a football? Yeah, I don't think you're playing, bro. Right, yeah. He's throwing like 5, yeah. And he doesn't have a strong arm as it is. Is Verderame ready? All right, let's go. Let's go with our Red Recover huddle, baby. Let's step into the huddle with Matt Verderame.
Let's huddle up with Fanside National NFL reporter Matt Verderame. The huddle is brought to you by RedRecover.com. RedRecover.com's wraps and pads are designed to deliver maximum benefits with each treatment anywhere you go. Go to RedRecover.com to learn more about red light with videos, blog posts, and over 40 years of medical research to treat pain, inflammation, and overall well-being. Here's NFL reporter Matt Verderame.
All right. There he is, Matt Verderame. Matt, do you have kids?
I have 2 of them.
And Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
Well, listen, are you going to bring them down to the zoo here in Miami?
I feel like my house is a zoo.
No, but we have a zoo here, bro. We got a cheetah on the team. We got a penguin on the team. We just added a giraffe now.
You guys have a lot going on. There's a lot going on down in Miami. Yes.
We got a petting zoo and an NFL team. You can't beat that, bro. See?
That's right.
All your titles and all the stats that Mahomes has and anything that Kelsey does, you don't have a zoo. See?
That's true. The ticket now is really the best value in town for Miami.
I mean, come on. Same property, you get a zoo and you get a football team. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I was explaining to folks because, you have some people like Mike Glennon. And I'm like, dude, it's week 18.
Yeah.
You think the guy that's retired and 34 or 37 is going to say, oh, yeah, sure, I'll come back for a week. Just in case I get injured, I'll spend my entire 2023 rehabbing. And by the way, if you're married, you think your wife really wants you to play 1 week for a game check when you've been retired and you probably got, enough money in the bank as it is. So any of the really good veteran quarterbacks that might have been available, not that they're very good, but experienced or whatever, those guys aren't going to sacrifice coming back. Oh, and by the way, you're asking it on the week that Damar Hamlin situation happened, which again will send shockwaves through families and wives all over the place.
Of course. That would have sent shockwaves regardless of when that game was. That could have been just a standard 1:00 kick when, a meager audience by NFL standards was watching. That was maybe the biggest game of the NFL season on national TV. And everybody saw that. Players, coaches, wives, girlfriends, kids in some cases, and the players themselves, who have to now go play this weekend. I mean, there's absolutely going to be a mental, psychological impact from it. But as far as, talking about Mike Glennon and like the Dolphins are concerned, I'd be pretty surprised if Skyler Thompson's not lining up behind center come Sunday afternoon for the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt that it's going to be him. And I was telling, one guy goes, "Well, if he doesn't start, well, get Mike Glennon in there." I'm like, "No, dude, you don't want Mike Glennon in there. Okay,
you do not.
You don't want Mike Glennon in there. He's got a nice arm. He just has no idea where it's going. Like zero clue where the ball is going to land. So it's just, Matt, it's funny because, and you probably run into it, you can tell the people that don't really watch all the games and all that. They might watch their favorite team, but they aren't really watching because we had guys down here like, Teddy's going to take Tua's job. I'm like, dude, have you ever seen Teddy play? Like, did you watch him in New Orleans? Yeah, they went 5-0. Yeah, he threw 9 touchdowns in 5 games. Did you watch him in Minnesota? I explained to folks, like, he had one year where he had Thielen, he had Diggs, Wallace. Mike Wallace was his third receiver. He had Kyle Rudolph. AP ran for like almost 1,500 yards.
Right.
He had a really good offensive line. It was like 17 touchdowns and 14 interceptions.
Listen, I mean, it is what it is. Okay. I mean, if you're the Dolphins, you're looking at this game thinking, we got to win. We got to hope the Patriots lose, which that game is impossible to handicap. I don't know with the Bills and Pats. I mean, are the Bills in any kind of a frame of mind to play? I mean, obviously there's been good news today with Damar Hamlin, which is fantastic. I don't know what you could get a Bills team that's sky high on Sunday because they want to play for Damar and everything. You could also have a Bills team that says, look, 6 days ago, we just went through the most harrowing experience of our lives, and we don't really care about playing the Patriots right now. I have no clue what you're going to get. So, if you're the Dolphins, first things first, you got to win. You got to beat a Jets team that's reeling. They've lost 5 in a row, but the Dolphins exactly on fire. Also losers of 5 in a row. So we'll see. But look, the Dolphins are going to need Skyler Thompson to go out and play well. I think that's pretty much reality.
Yeah. There's no doubt. And somebody was asking me about Tua, and I said, man, I because they said he's in the early stages of the concussion protocol. I don't care what happens, even if they luck in and they get in or whatever. And even if Florio's idea now that he put out in a report that they're thinking about adding an 8th team or something like that, which to me, that doesn't make any sense. I'll get to that in a second. But even if you sneak in, I wouldn't play Tua at all this year. I think his brain and his head needs an entire offseason to reset. And
I probably agree.
Nowinski? Is it Nowinski? The guy that's Nowinski? Yeah, the guy is a former athlete and a concussion expert and all that. He said that the key for Sidney Crosby has always been, because he's got a shitload of concussions.
Yeah, very few.
But what he's done is he's rested. Every time he gets one, he allows it to fully heal before he takes the ice again. And you didn't do that with him, probably between the Buffalo and the Cincy game. And now you've got this. So you're better off just taking the safe route this year and say, look, dude, his stats are still one of the best in the league, and he's missed 5 games. Like, he's missed 5 games, and he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league stat-wise. So last time I checked, that's still better than anybody outside of Marino since he left. Bro, keep him intact and start it over next year and hope for the best next year. Plan for something else as a backup, but to put him out there now, you might ruin his entire future.
Yeah, no, I don't see, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not in that building. I don't see a reasonable path to play Tagovailoa again this year. I just don't. So 3 concussions. And if you're the Dolphins, like, look, you always want to win. You're always competitive. You always want to go out there and play every game. Realistically speaking, even if you can make the playoffs, you're going on the road and beating Buffalo or beating Kansas City or beating the Bengals right now? Probably not. To risk it all with this guy seems insane.
And you're not going anywhere.
Right. I mean, it's not like you're, I mean, and I think, look, people could say, well, even if you were going somewhere, okay, but realistically, that makes it a harder decision with, if he's saying he can play and he's passing protocol. People could say that shouldn't be the case, but that is the case. This is the National Football League. That is the case. Yeah. But I think, look, if you're the Dolphins, you got to err on the side of caution with them. You try to go out and win this weekend. You see what happens. Now, there's a lot of wrinkles in play right now. We don't even know what's going on with all the mechanisms regarding Hamlin's situation and how it's going to affect the AFC playoff picture. There's a million different scenarios out there. Albert Breer just reported that one idea that's getting traction is that they're basically just going to seed these teams as they would by win percentage, and the AFC title game is going to be in Indianapolis. And they'll just have that if the Chiefs and the Bills get there. Or,
I don't get this. Let me. Okay, so I'm not a genius. I'm an idiot. I just do a talk show every day. That's all. I'm just a regular dude. Okay, we have a dead week in between the Super Bowl. What are we doing here, bro? Nobody's made the playoffs yet. Nobody's made any reservations to fly, so you're not screwing any fans over right now. Dude, we just push everything back 1 week. And so now we have the 18th week, and then week 19, we get to like make that Cincinnati Bills game the crowning, game of the, like almost like a Super Bowl, like, and it's going to get you better ratings than the Pro Bowl anyway. Way better. And so now you'll be able to sell that game. You'll make all the money. And then the following week, you can start the divisional. You can start the wild card, divisional, and then conference. And you go, instead of a 2-week dead period for the Super Bowl, we just have 1 week, bro, like regular. That's how you suck it up and you get it done. I don't know if they want to whore out the 2 weeks of trying to promote the game. I don't know. Maybe the networks gain from this. I have no idea. But that dead week saves your ass.
It does. And you know what? You're right. And I think that was a lot of people's first thoughts. I know my first thought was, why not do that? But I think there's two things at play. One, I don't think they want to play this Bills-Bengals game. I don't think they want to play it. I think after what happened.
Oh, but now he's got good news, bro.
I understand.
He's communicating. He's heading in the right direction.
Which is awesome. But I don't think the league wants to play that game based off of what happened in it. Also,
all optics.
Yeah,
just because you have to relive that moment while you're in the broadcast.
I think that's a big part of why.
Well, we might end up with both of them in the AFC Championship game. We're going to have to do it again.
Look, if the Chiefs win on Saturday and the Bills and the Bengals beat their wild card opponents, they're going to play each other in the divisional round. Right. I mean, whether it's in Buffalo or Cincinnati, whatever, they're going to play each other. But here's the thing that's really interesting here. So I'm with you, but I think what you said is right. Look, the NFL wants to promote that game for 2 weeks. I mean, they want to promote the Super Bowl for 2 weeks, so they don't want to push anything back. My thing with this is, look, this is an extraordinary circumstance. Extraordinary. Like, there's no great answer for this.
No.
Everything's going to be critiqued to death. I think, look, the bottom line is, if they say, let's say they go with what Albert Breer is saying is gaining traction, and they are just going to seed these teams based on winning percentage. If the Chiefs win on Saturday, which is a key note here, Saturday, the Chiefs are the number 1 seed. They cannot be caught.
Nothing else matters. Yeah.
Why would the Bills even play against New England?
Right.
I mean, they're just going to. I would imagine they're not going to. I guess. Because I think, and I should double check this, but we're on the air. I haven't had the opportunity. I think they'd be locked into the 2 seed if that game's declared a no contest, and the Chiefs win Saturday.
Because they're a game ahead of the Bills. Of the Bengals.
Right, and I think,
right. So if they both win, they stay the game ahead because the Bengals has. I get you.
The Bengals and the Bills come down to like strength of victory, and the Bills have a much better strength of victory. So I think that's what it would be. Yeah. If you're the Bills, you're locked into 2. You're not going to play that game. You got to play next weekend. Like, why would you? And if you lose that game, you are going to play the Patriots at home in the playoffs, and you'll have just watched them. Like, to me, if I'm the Bills, it's not even cool. I wouldn't. There's no way I would play that game. There's a very good chance if that happens, the Bills and the Bengals, who play the Patriots and the Ravens, respectively, this coming weekend, won't play hard, and then we'll see the exact same team come back into their building the following week.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's a very real scenario.
That's, I don't know. To me, you got that dead week. Go ahead. And plus, you don't even have a game anymore. It's just a skills competition. You can actually, promote it during the week and stuff. But again, that takes away from Super Bowl week. Although you can maybe play that game on a Monday or something, because you don't start You don't start. No, it's Wednesday when media day is, right? Or Tuesday? What is it? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Media day?
Yeah, media day for the Super Bowl. Is
now,
it Tuesday?
Now it's Monday night. It's Monday night.
Wow. Okay, so then, yeah, no, that would be.
Well, you can move it, of course, but right now it's Monday night.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you maybe you move it to Tuesday night and you have all the skills competition for the Pro Bowl on Monday, and that's it, and get all that crap out of the way. I don't know. It's really. I guess how much do you cherish what you're doing with the Pro Bowl? You know what I mean? That's
hopefully you don't.
Part. Yeah,
I mean, you know what? Honestly, the Pro Bowl, play it after the Super Bowl again. cares? That we all lived with that
Amen.
for years on end, right?
Amen.
I mean,
Amen.
just move it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, are people really planning their lives around the Pro Bowl?
No. I enjoyed more when I was a kid Battle of the Network Stars than I ever did the stinking Pro Bowl. And I'm not joking, bro. The Battle of the Network Stars was a lot more fun. I don't know. You might be a little too young for that, but it is on YouTube.
I know what it was. I know what it was.
For those of you out there that are a little too young for the Battle of the Network Stars, go ahead, knock yourselves out, go on YouTube. It was actually fun. It was actually fun. Fun watching Mark Clayton deadlift like 500 pounds or something. Like, what?
You imagine that now, but there's no way you could ever have that now.
Yeah.
Back then, I was like, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. It was actually a fun deal. And they all used to perform. They all used to go out to do that thing. So that was actually cool. Now, the Damar Hamlin stuff, we got some good news, at least neurologically. It looks like he's, it's all intact and it's coming back and he's making progress. And that's really, really cool, man. And I got to tell you, the one thing is having those first responders right there, man. Yep. That was everything and anything, because we might have, because damn, bro, I almost thought he was going to die. To be quite honest, the way it looked, but having those first responders changed everything.
I mean, there's no doubt. I was sitting here. My parents are in town right now for a late Christmas, I guess. We were all sitting there. My parents, myself, my 5-year-old daughter, and my wife watching the game when that happened. And thankfully, my daughter a little bit too young, and we were just like, "Oh yeah, he's hurt, honey. He'll be okay," And that was good enough for her. But my wife is in the medical field; she has a doctorate. She immediately was like, "Yeah, I think he had a heart attack," and obviously he didn't. He went into cardiac arrest, which is different than a heart attack. But it, I mean, she initially she was pretty convinced that it was going to be the worst case scenario, just based off what was going on. And I think for me, just to have covered the league, the thing that really scared me more than anything else was the reaction of the players. You just don't ever see guys have that kind of reaction ever. I mean, you cover this game long enough. You've seen guys get stretchered off the field. You've seen guys unconscious. You've seen probably an ambulance or two come out onto a field. It would not be the first time.
Air cast or whatever, but you're always fist pumping. There's a hand in the air. There's a wave. All that. As bad as it is, all that. What we saw, never saw that.
When guys are openly just sobbing on the field, I mean, you knew at that point something is really wrong. Like really, like beyond anything you've seen on a football field. I'm just so grateful to all those first responders who knew exactly what to do. Did it right away, did it correctly. I mean, God willing, the way it looks like they saved his life. I mean, it looks like he's going to be able to hopefully have a full recovery. Somebody, and I forget who I saw tweet this out, but essentially said, we saw the most horrific thing you could ever see in real time on national TV. We also might have saw the best act of heroism you've seen in some time. And I think that was well put. So I would hope the NFL honors those first responders, does everything you possibly can to shine a light on them. They deserve it. They maybe averted an unbelievable tragedy by doing their jobs and doing it exceedingly well.
By the way, Rob Maddie of the Associated Press is reporting that the Bills-Bengals game will not continue. Seems to be a precursor to the official announcement, which will likely come today. NFL Players Association has scheduled a briefing at 4 p.m. regarding the Damar Hamlin situation, and there's no firm reporting on what the league will do regarding the AFC playoff seeding. Various possibilities have been mentioned and discussed. There is no perfect option there right there, and so it looks like this game will not be replayed.
I think at this point, it's just look. With every hour that goes by, the more I'm convinced they're just going to cancel the game. I mean, I think you would have heard it by now. Like, hey, they're going to play next Thursday. They're going to play next weekend. Whatever it is. You're not hearing that. You've consistently heard that they are probably leaning toward having a no contest. I think the real question at this point, I would be shocked if they played. I think the real question is going to be, what do you do now? There's been talk about, do you make it 8 playoff teams? You just get rid of the bye and you play that out. Couldn't you imagine? I mean, now, look.
Hey, your parents are there for a late Christmas. The Dolphins are in for a late Christmas. Here's a playoff spot.
Right. Well, really what's nuts is if you do that, you also have to do it competitively for the NFC. So now you're adding an 8 team in the NFC, and the Eagles, who have been just cruising to a bye week their entire season, it's like, hey guys, guess what? You're playing Detroit.
No. Or maybe they go 2 bye weeks. I mean, they go 2 for the bye week.
Well,
they're adding that other team, so 6 will play, 2 sit out.
I thought that. Here's the problem. I thought the same thing. Do the math on it. If those 6 teams play, you're left with 3. Then you have 5 in the divisional round. You can't do it.
No, you still can't. Yeah,
you can't do it. I thought about that.
That has to be. That's right. That's a good point.
So you're stuck. You will remember, and I know because I love history.
Thanks for telling me I'm old.
1982, they played with 8 teams in each conference because of the strike. They did do it, and the Dolphins went to the Super Bowl, right? I mean, so my dad's still better about that because he bet every game of the playoffs right except for the Super Bowl. If the Dolphins had won that game, he would have won it. But in any event,
tell him to blame Kim Bocamper for Joe Theismann stripping him from the ball, bro. Come on, we needed that turnover. No, the Diesel was amazing in that game, dude. Wow,
yeah, he took over.
My God, he ran over the Dolphins, and was it Jay Brophy or somebody? I forgot who it was. Is really some of our bad linebackers in those days. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that was bad. But that's still better. But yeah, I mean, there have been 8 playoff teams in either conference before. It's the only time it ever happened. Again, it was because of a strike and they missed half the season. But I don't know. I honestly feel, for whatever it's worth, I think the easiest thing, the path of least resistance, was just the no game, and you just play it out like you'd play it out. And you just, now, I get it. That's unfair in some ways because then the Bills can sit there and say, we didn't get to play the game. I get it. But no matter what you do, to me, it's going to be so sterile. Hey, guys, the Chiefs and the Bills are in the AFC Championship game. And, oh, by the way, it's at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Right.
It's just like, I'd almost rather have the game be like, even put it in Buffalo. Like, put it anywhere. Like, have some fans. It'd just be so weird. Yeah. But I guess this is a circumstance where something's going to come out of it that's going to be weird.
Yeah. And by the way, you when you brought back the strike year, it just reminds me of how good Shula was. Because his team was like, and okay, Scabs, all right, well, we got to, all right, they're bringing on Scabs. And like Shula's team is like one of the least penalized. It's one of the most disciplined teams. And it's all Scabs. But it's just like, it's funny how that whole Bum Phillips line that he can beat Hism with Yurzen and Yurzen with Hism, you know, that line that Bum Phillips used. And that's one thing that stood out to me because, hell, dude, we got to the Super Bowl that year with Woodstock.
I know.
At quarterback. Not only did you get through the strike, not only did he outcoach everybody else with his scab, but then he also had to use 2 quarterbacks in order to get to the Super Bowl. 2 completely different quarterbacks, a running and a real, pocket passer. And
you have AJ Dewey to thank for that AFC title game.
Yeah.
And also Richard
interceptions.
Yeah. Richard Todd, you guys should retire his number down in Miami.
My God, the games, the numbers that guy would put up, and Wesley Walker with one eye is catching like 10 passes and 130 yards on the Dolphins, like all the time. I mean, it was just impressive. Did you know that Wesley Walker had one eye?
No, I did not know that.
Played with a glass eye.
I had no idea. That I did not know. I was probably
Wesley Walker, hell of a player.
He was a great player. Him and Al Toon. Yeah.
Had one eye. Freeman McNeil also was the other guy used to burn the hell out of. That wasn't actually a bad team that the Jets had. The Jets
they beat the Bengals that year, and they beat the Raiders both on the road. They had a hell of a run all the way to the AFC, and then they ran into just a monsoon down in the Orange Bowl.
And those were pretty good Bengals teams those days. The Boomer Esiason, Brooks, all those, all Eddie Brown, all those kind of guys. That was a pretty damn good team. Sam Weiss did a really nice job. Which, as you know, Sam was with Paul Brown and Bill Walsh in Cincinnati. For many years. Yeah, definitely good stuff. All right, this week, what do you think about the Dolphins and the Jets? Just out of curiosity, that you really care.
No, I think it's what if Skyler Thompson plays, I think it's going to be hard for the Dolphins to score points in this game. I do. I mean, I just think it's going to be one of these games where the Dolphins are going to have to win this thing like 16-13, 17-14. It's hard to say with these teams because the Jets have nothing to play for. So it's like, are the Jets motivated to play because they could be a spoiler? Or do the Jets just lay down like a dog because they just don't care and they're ready to go home. Like,
I haven't seen that from Saleh, bro. Let me tell you, I know it's blasphemous for me to say it because this is a Miami-driven show and all that. I like that dude. I like how he's wired. I think he does a really good job of managing his team. His team plays hard for him every week, man.
I agree. I agree with you. I think they will play hard. I think it's going to be a very tight game. I think it's going to be a one-score game. I think the big question is, does Thompson make a huge mistake in the game? Or can he avoid that and they can win the game by running the ball and make it a short throw that turns into a big gain? I think the biggest question for Miami really right now is, what is the playoff format going forward here? Because if the Bills have nothing to play for come Sunday, none of this matters.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, that to me is kind of the question at hand here. Like, because if you're the Bills, if you're locked into it too, even if you're like, listen, we're going out and we're going to play, do you want to play the Pats or the Dolphins in the wild card round? Like, if you're the Bills, you'd rather play New England.
Yeah.
I'd definitely rather play New England. Like,
yeah.
You know, so I mean, to me, I think that's the big question is, or do you get the Chiefs to lose to the Raiders and then it all matters? Which, by the way, for people who say that could never happen, the Chiefs are 5-0 in the division this year. They've won those 5 games by a combined total of 16 points. Okay. Wow. The Chiefs never blow these teams out in the division. Ever.
And they turn over the ball.
They turn over the ball a ton. They sleepwalk through half the game because they just assume they're going to win the game. They have beaten the Broncos by 9 points combined over 2 games, 6 points combined with the Chargers, and they beat the Raiders 30-29 after they fell behind 17-0. So it's not as wild as people think that the Chiefs could lose it. Now, is Jarrett Stidham going to play the way he played against the Niners? I don't know. Was that like just a one-off miracle? Does he do that again? But I think the Raiders are going to be in that game. I don't think they'll win, but I think they're going to be in the game.
Yeah, no, and the Chiefs, they have to play hard. Anyways, because they got to lock up the number 1 seed.
They do.
So,
they'll play hard.
You know, they've got all the motivation in the world to take a week off, bro. You know, so to me, that part, you know, you've kind of earned it all year. What are you going to do? Give it away now? And listen, the Raiders are, even if the Raiders take the lead, we all know that they take it and they give it away. So, you know, that's also very possible in the process. All right, one more thing before I let you go. Don't forget to follow Matt on Twitter at Matt Verderame. Plan B for next year has to be better than Teddy B. Because if you do bring back, well, you are going to bring back Tua because he's under contract and all that. It is stupid to even cut him anyways. You're going to bring him back. But you're going to have to try to find a plan B that's better than Teddy Bridgewater because, you can keep Skyler and keep developing him, but you still can't thrust him into that spot unless this Sunday the guy all of a sudden throws for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns and he starts to look really good against a really good defense. Then maybe we can start to think about that. But in general, you can't expect to thrust that kid in there. So what would be Matt Verderame's plan B to try to go? What quarterback is realistic veteran that'll come in and sit behind Tua and wait for an opportunity if it arrives? Who would that be?
Yeah, it's hard because I think a lot of people immediately are like, Jimmy G, or like, he's not going to want to do that.
And he's worse than Tua, by the way. He misses more games than Tua.
He's always injury prone. So Derek Carr's not going to go sit behind anybody. He's going to start. I don't want Carson Wentz if I'm the Dolphins. Even if you can get him to back him up, I don't want any part of it. Carson Wentz throwing 3 interceptions every week. Trubisky to me is not that enticing. Like I don't, at that point, I'd probably just stick with Bridgewater, frankly. Like I don't think there's that much of an upside. I think, if you're them, if you're looking around and, Baker's probably the most talented, but does he have the temperament to do it? Like, could Baker sit there and do that? Talent-wise, he's probably the best answer. I don't know that you're going to get him to do that, though. I'll give you another name, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's played pretty well this year, and I think he could do that. Like he's shown he can do that.
He can do it for sure. He can do it. He's a pro.
He's a pro. Like I think Andy Dalton, if the Dolphins paid him enough to go there and be a backup, like I think that's actually a pretty good spot. Like Andy Dalton could get you in the playoffs. He just went 8-8 or whatever he went with the Saints.
Yeah, right. He's not going to win games for you, but he can be a facilitator at times. Yes, you're right.
I think Andy Dalton as a backup. He's one of the best backups in football, and he's a vet, and he's a pro, and I think he could go in there and he could throw slants to Tyreek Hill. Like, you can do that. So, I think that's probably a good answer.
That is actually a very good answer. All right, tell them about Stacking the Podcast and the article.
All right, so you can check out the Stacking the Box column every Monday, 6 a.m. Eastern on Fanside. It's up all day long, of course. I tweet it out as well. And the podcast, please go over to the channel on YouTube, like it, subscribe to it. It is every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. And you can just find it whenever you want to after that, of course, whether you want to check it out on YouTube after the fact or you want to subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. And then after that, you got Wednesdays, quarterback rankings, Thursdays, picks. There's no shortage. There's no shortage of content. So go and check it out after you're done watching Big O.
The gaming dude drops in a super chat and he says Marcus Mariota, and I say no. But Jason Myers has an interesting one, although I think he kind of revitalized his career. Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold's interesting for sure. I mean, he's played great down the stretch. He really has.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. I like that. Different.
You notice that all the quarterbacks that leave Matt Rule play better.
Yes, they do. They do.
Okay? Like Baker's played his best football with the Rams the last couple of weeks over what he did with Matt Rule. And now Matt Rule left, and now this kid's playing the best he's played there.
How, the Panthers couldn't win a game for 3 years. They traded Christian McCaffrey. Everybody in the world's like, they're done. And then they got Matt Rule out of there, and they immediately started winning games. Just immediately. Like, didn't even wait. They're like, yeah, we're a 500 team now. Like, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So,
they have some players on defense.
They're talented. Like, they're young.
They got some weapons on offense. They're not really that bad as people make them out to be. It's just Matt Rule probably didn't fit, being an NFL coach. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that. That happens, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderame and catch his work there at Fanside and Stacking the Box. As always, I appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up next week.
Sounds good. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Matt Verderame. Great stuff. RedRecover.com. Right now, the sale is going on. Right now, 50% off. And one of our listeners, by the way, I'm going to see if I find it and take advantage right now. 50% off is absolutely crazy. Dennis Akers. He says, Big O, I got a Red Recover wrap for my Yorkie. He broke his leg as a puppy and has rods in his legs that has affected his hips. And I'm telling you, brother, that wrap works. He's doing great. Yep, I'm telling you. Because it alleviates the soreness. It gets the blood flow going. That's the thing. When you have that rod in there, it's not the same. It's the same as my man next door here. When he's got bone on bone, it gets the blood flow going. So it alleviates that pressure, By the way, the dentist had go to redrecover.com, 50% off. Telling you, you got an injury, a surgery, a scar that you wanted to disappear. They've got the wrap so you can put on your face for the ladies for the crow's feet. Red light therapy is amazing. By the way, so you may get an irritated nerve in your arm or leg or whatever, right? And it may hurt for a little bit, right? And what happens with irritation, that nerve, right? It expands, right? The irritation. So you know why the tooth is so bad? I didn't realize it until the dentist told me yesterday. Your nerve's trapped. It's trapped in that canal. It's got no space to irritate. So guess what it does? It irritates your ass. Because you can a nerve can affect you in other places, but it won't affect you nearly as much. It might bother you a little bit, but when you get it in that tooth area, because it's in those canals, they can't expand, they can't release. So then they just send those shock waves to your ass, so you can then, hey, I'm here. We're ready to go. All right. George Ceballos, Big O, I'm going to see Justin Hayward from Moody Blues in Lauderdale. Have you seen them? No, I have not. That's pretty cool. I've seen the Moody Blues years ago. Yeah, but no, I haven't seen him on his own like that. No, I have not. But enjoy, my brother. I love the Moody Blues. All right, let's get ready for hour number 2, live from Hialeah Park. The one and only Marcel Louis-Jacques is ready to go. Let's talk Fins next.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's ESPN Dolphin insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
All right, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
I'm good, man. Trying to monitor this NFLPA call simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
They're updating on Damar Hamlin, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an incident where I wasn't muted at first, so now I'm like overcompensating by checking every 3 seconds. But I'm going to just go ahead and trust technology and send it to God here. And if DeMaurice Smith can hear me, I'm sure he'll tell me to mute.
Yes, he probably will. Overall, the good, well, at least it looks like neurologically, he is doing much better overall, and that's good news. He's able to write, he's able to communicate at least. So that's actually really, really cool to see that that kind of progress is being made, because man, I was really afraid for that family on that night, because it just didn't look good. You know, I was terrified that it was going to be really, really bad news. And obviously, we just talked about it with Matt, and I'm sure you've talked about it, and all of us have talked about this. The first responders, man, that was it. That was the end all be all right there. That's the reason why Damar is still with us and has a fighting chance, you know, to get back a normal life. And you know, thank the Lord that the NFL does this. Because, and this is a terrible reminder, but how important it is to have those first responders ready to go.
Yeah, you know, the NFL has a plan. They hope to never use it, obviously, but they do have a plan for an emergency like that. And when you hear things like, oh, there's no plan for this, there's no plan like emotionally on how to proceed from here. But there's very much a plan to how to handle any potential, you know, tragedy on the field like that. And I'm just going to leave the meeting because I'm getting nervous. But for them to be able to execute that plan with that kind of precision in that kind of environment with 65, 70,000 people watching every move, there were no missteps. And I think they deserve all the credit in the world, man, because like we just didn't. I was watching it live, obviously, and just like a lot of other people. And, you know, we have sort of become numb to this. We've seen at least the first 5 minutes of what we thought it was. We just saw that happen a couple months ago on the field. We've gone almost numb to that kind of injury, to where like a player is down on the sideline not moving, or down on the field and not moving. So they go to commercial, and then when they came back, I will never forget this image, man. They came back to Sean McDermott basically squatting on the sideline, or squatting on the field with his hands on his face. And that was the first time that was like, something might be wrong here. That's the guy who's supposed to be, you're supposed to look to your head coach and expect, like, if anybody's going to keep it together in those circumstances, it's that guy. So if he's breaking down what's happening, and then they cut to Josh Allen, hands over his face, you know, real fear in his eyes. You see Stephon Diggs, you see Tre'Davious White, and like it became very clear, like something awful is happening.
Yeah.
So I am grateful that he has been able to recover to this point. You know, obviously he still has a long way to go, but you know, as they describe it, you know, the lights are on and they know he's home. That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is a miracle, and it's a blessing, and it's great to have modern medicine to the point where, you know, you can make a difference in someone's life at that point right there, because it was as tragic as it could possibly get. And this also gives the Bills an opportunity to move on, you know, because it's hard to move on not knowing where, you know, what state your brother is in. Is he losing his life? Is he getting better? And that kind of concern is bad for the players. And so it's good now that they're going to be able to move on and feel at least that, okay, progress is being made and it's not as dire now. Now they can kind of spin it. And instead of playing it in disrespect, now we're going to play it in honor of Damar. And I think that that's what's going to end up happening, is that they're going to be motivated to play a great game in his honor now instead. And I think that's what changes the trajectory of this whole thing once you're able to find some good news. You know, the dad addressing the team and all of that. I thought that was really, really important.
Yeah, and you heard, like, they didn't even want to leave the stadium until they knew he was at least stable. They had no choice but to go home. But
not Stephon Diggs.
Well, not Stephon Diggs, but you know, what are you going to tell him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have more power to Stephon Diggs. I think more players should have stayed, to be quite honest with you. That's kind of the moment where you say, guys, we got to go back, but if anybody wants to stay, we'll book you some rooms. We'll get you set up and all that. And so, you know, I think, you know, you want to do something like that, but whatever. I mean, listen, again, none of this is right or wrong. This is unprecedented. We don't know how to handle this. It's just so new to everybody, to the Bills, to the league. You know, I can't blame anybody for anything that they did. You know what I mean? At this point, I don't think the good thing is I don't think overall nothing's been mishandled. And to me, that's the most important part.
Correct. I think they handled it wonderfully. And they deserve all the praise and recognition for that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right. We were just talking about this with Matt Verderame. It seems like now the reports are they're not going to replay this game. So if they're not going to replay this game and the Chiefs win on Saturday, the Dolphins are screwed, because why should the Bills even try in that game?
I think maybe for that same reason that you said, like, it's playing in honor of them instead of, you know, in disrespect of them. So you go out there and stomp New England for your guy. Like, I wouldn't expect them to mail it in.
I still think their backups will beat New England, to be quite honest with you, because I don't think they're going to play Josh Allen a lot, because, you know, why would you? And at the same time, Marcel, if you let New England beat you, that's who you're going to face, not Miami. So who would you rather face, Miami or New England? I'd rather face
the way they're playing right now. I'd rather play the Dolphins.
No,
I would rather play the Dolphins right now than play New England.
Well,
like,
by some stupidity,
I'm not in. If I'm Buffalo right now, I'm not intimidated by either team right now. But one knows how to play defense.
But wait a minute, hold on a second. But what if these guys were idiots and they want to play Tua? And Tua, the crazy bastard that he is, says, "Oh no, I'm healthy. I want to play. I've been cleared. This, that, and then it's a playoffs. We got to go." And I don't think they should play Tua at all. I think he needs the entire offseason rest. That's my opinion. But stranger things have happened in the NFL. So do you want to face Tua in that offense? Or would you rather just face, Mac and that poor offense that's not going to do anything, and you'll take care of them with no problem? You know what I'm
just
saying?
Like,
that is a threat, at least. The Miami offense with Tua is a threat, whereas there's nothing you can actually put New England that they're a threat at all.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. Like it might hurt some Dolphins fans' feelings hearing this, but show me the lie. Nothing over the past month has, if I'm a Dolphins opponent, has even remotely intimidated me about this team. Remotely scared me about this team. They're good for one enormous nuclear play a game. And then the rest of the time, they're going to struggle to move the ball. Even with Tua, for the first 4 games of that losing streak, we'll call it 3.5. We'll call it 3.5 games of that losing streak. He was pretty ineffective.
No, he was very effective in the Buffalo game. You're wrong. Very effective. He had nothing to do with the loss. Zero. He won that game. Okay,
sure.
Mike McDaniel.
Sure, but he lost that game.
Mike McDaniel, Tyreek Hill, Trent Sherfield, they lost that game. Not Tua.
Yeah, sure. We're splitting hairs. We're splitting hairs here.
No. We're not splitting hairs.
We're splitting hairs because then what happened the following week? Like they didn't build on it.
No, my brother. You said he played. He was ineffective for 4 weeks. He was very effective against the Bills, and he played well. He doesn't deserve any criticism for that game. Rip him for San Francisco, rip him for the Chargers. Hell, even the first half against Green Bay, he was playing fine. He actually played 6 good quarters. It's the back end of that was bad. It's unfair to label him that way. He was very effective against Buffalo. Dude.
Okay, well, let's instead of looking at everything under a microscope, let's look at the microcosm of all of it. Even if he was playing well, let's say even if he was playing well, that offense as a whole was not. Like it still was not. Like, and I'm talking about the Dolphins as a team have not shown anything to me to remotely intimidate me if I'm able to pick my playoff opponent right now. They haven't. It hasn't mattered. Call it play calling, call it receiver communication, call it whatever you want. But it goes back to what we were talking about last week in terms of excuses. Eventually, you stop caring and you start looking at the product and stop caring about the.
I get that, but nobody blows them out. They just barely beat them by under a score. Well, it's not.
Who cares?
Think about it.
I'd almost rather they get blown out if I'm a Dolphins fan, because at least I know, okay, we just didn't have a chance. This is just the flat out better team. You keep losing by 1 score. Now I start to think, where are you late in games that you can't close these out, that you can't close these gaps and overcome and protect leads? I'd almost rather just get smacked.
This is good.
Hey, man.
Look, bro. I'm glad you brought this up.
This sucks.
No. Hold on a second. I'm glad you brought this up. I'm so glad because, see, I look at it completely different. The fact that they're within 1 score tells me that there are small mistakes being made throughout the game that are putting you in that position, like abandoning the run when you're averaging 7 yards a carry against the Bills in that temperature, like 9 yards a carry against Green Bay, and you abandon the run, or stupid calls, like going for a 2-point conversion early on in the 3rd quarter. But the bottom line is, I'll show you, we just talked about this with Matt Verderame. So let's see. The guy from the Carolina Panthers gets fired. Matt Rule. Interesting that Baker Mayfield plays better football in the Rams than he does with them. Interesting that Sam Darnold has completely turned his career around without Matt Rule. They go and trade Christian McCaffrey. They think that they're down. they actually start winning games now. They're actually playing better. Sometimes the people within your organization or on the field are stopping you from winning. And so where you and I differ on this is they're not that far from winning those games. And Mike McDaniel might have been one of the main reasons why you lost a lot of those games, because you put Braylon Sanders in a position that he wasn't ready to perform. All he had to do was run for a touchdown that Tua threw, and he didn't do it. That's bad coaching. Bad coaching is not staying with the run to protect your defense, keep them off the field, protect your quarterback. There's a lot of things that went on. Where you and I disagree is this is actually a really good Dolphins team. The problem is they were so injury prone this year, and Mike McDaniel is still green as a play caller, as a game manager. He has to grow up also as a game manager. I think you're labeling this team worse than what they really are not, actually. I think they're a pretty good team. It's just there's some tweaking that needs to be done with the coaching and some luck on injuries. And I think it would be a completely different season. But as injured as they are, as many mistakes as they make, Marcel, they only lose by within a score.
Let me put it this way. The Texans have 13 losses this season.
Mm-hmm.
8 of them are by 1 score.
Yeah.
That is when I'd be optimistic. If I'm a bad team and I'm still hanging around when, okay, we're 1 score away, then you can say, okay, hold on a second. Like, we might have something to build on. When you're 8-3 and you keep losing these damn games by 1, I don't care if it's by 1 score, 2 scores, 50 scores. It doesn't matter. When you're 8-3, the standards got to be higher, Big O.
I get it.
There's no moral victories to losing 4 or 5 in a row.
But I'm telling you what's going on. Mike McDaniel is one of the main reasons why you have had this losing streak. He has mismanaged the offense over and over again, my brother.
I'm not arguing that.
We have to be critical and we have to be fair here. We can give people love when they're doing great, but we've got to be fair when they don't do a good job. And the last 4 weeks, I'm not going to blame him for San Francisco. He did a marvelous job in San Francisco. Tua was completely off in San Francisco, actually. But the other games, I got to throw him under the bus, bro. I have to throw him under the bus. He had to do a better job as a coach, and he has not. I
am curious. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I'm just putting Green Bay all on him. I'm actually curious just how impactful Tua's in-game concussion was on what that offense could do. Because I think the plays were there. Yeah. The decisions were not. And we know why. We know why. Like, that one, I'm not, like, I can't necessarily blame. I can't blame Mike.
And you can't blame him for Buffalo, bro. You can't blame him for Buffalo, dude.
Mike or Tua?
Tua.
Oh, I was talking about Mike. I can't blame Mike for Green Bay.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right in a way. Well, no, that's not true. First half, when you're running like crazy, you come to the 3rd and 3 and you kill your running game. And from there on out, you went more pass happy. And then when you went back to the run, it wasn't working. That was your fault there. I got a little pissed with him that they were killing Green Bay on the ground, like absolutely mortalizing them. How do you not keep running the ball on Green Bay? That's the part I don't understand. Keep Rodgers off the field, dude. So
that's the thing. But that's the thing is they actually entering that game during that losing streak. They were, I believe it was dead last in the NFL in average time of possession, last in average time per drive. Green Bay was, I think, top 2 or top 3 in both categories. But the time of possession split was very even that game. Like Buffalo, Miami did a good job of controlling the ball compared to the Buffalo game, the Chargers game, the Niners game. Like on paper, everything looked like, okay, Miami should have won this game, except they turned the ball over 4 times. Like we can argue abandoning the run. We can argue X, Y, Z, this route, that turnovers changed that game. It was I think it's 4-0 or -4 differential. You're not winning. You're not winning like that.
Amen.
You're not winning like that. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if Tua wasn't concussed, then I doubt he makes some of those decisions. Or maybe even all of those decisions, the interceptions. So, you know, it's hard to say. But the overarching point it still remains, no matter who's at fault. Like nothing about unless they come out on Sunday and they beat the Jets 65-2, because an errant snap on a punt goes through the end zone or something. Then like there's nothing that I've seen that makes me think that this team is not only a playoff team, not only playoff ready, but won't be an easy out in the playoffs. That's right, Pat. Kader Kohu did have that interception. Still, -3 semantics. You're not winning that turnover differential. But either way, yeah, like I'm not scared of Miami right now like I was in November and October. Then when I even wrote. Look, we had an assignment. We had an assignment like we do every Power Ranking Monday. And I think entering the bye week, our assignment was recalibrate your team's expectations. And I said, you need to win a playoff game. Not even just you need to win a playoff game. You're capable of winning the division, and you better win a playoff game while you're at it. Like, I was all on board. This team looks unstoppable. This train don't stop. And that's just done now. I don't believe in this team right now. I don't believe in the team right now.
But it's funny how you say the Dolphins were intimidating early when the Patriots have never been intimidating. At no point.
They play defense and they have Bill Belichick. That's the only reason. Like, I'm not saying they're good. I don't think the Patriots are good at all. But I don't think the Dolphins are good right now either. Like, this isn't me saying, I'm so scared of the Patriots, I don't want to play them. But if I had to choose, like who would I rather play between New England and Miami? Yeah, give me Miami right now. Give me the team that's on a 5-game losing streak. That's not a hot take. That's not a hot take.
Yeah.
Like, at least New England somehow clawed their way into being in position to beat the Bengals a couple weeks ago. They were able to starve out the Dolphins on Sunday. Like, they play defense at the end of the day. That offense sucks. It sucks. But I think their defense has scored in 5 games, 6 games this season. Like, it stops becoming erroneous and starts becoming a trend after a while. Like, it's not an outlier, it's a trend. This defense knows how to put points on the board itself. They've got playmakers, they've got pass rushers, they've got a defensive-minded head coach, probably the greatest defensive mind of all time. It doesn't always help you. They got the brakes beat off them last year in the playoffs. But
yeah, there's that.
If I had to choose one right now, yeah, I don't really think it's that difficult of a decision either. Just because they're not playing, Miami's not playing well at their peak. Like, if we're talking about if they're guaranteed going to play the best game of their season, both teams, whether it's Miami or New England, guaranteed going to play their A+ game, then yeah, I'd rather take New England, or I'd rather play New England. Of course, because I don't want to play Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Tua when he's sharp. I don't want to touch that. I don't want any part of that. But right now, that offense isn't the same. This isn't the same offense that we saw in October and November.
Yeah, no,
so
you're
unless
right.
I see unless I see that return, then I'm not intimidated by the Dolphins right now.
No, I get it. With Skyler, for sure, it's not an intimidation. With Tua, it's a whole different ball game, and it could be a whole different ball game. Again, I would not play him. You got any thoughts on a report out there by Armando Salguero that if Mike McDaniel loses, the article was really loose because there really was no definitive thing. Like, oh no, he's getting fired if he could this, that. So Salguero did a really good job of covering himself on every angle of that story. So it really didn't have any kind of, oomph to it, to be quite honest. I love Armando. I love you, Armando, but that story, So I'm just wondering, how do you look at this final game in the first year for Mike McDaniel under crazy-ass Stephen Ross?
I couldn't roll my eyes hard enough. He named 3 guys. He named McDaniel, he named Greer, he named Boyer. It said nobody's job is safe. There's one guy out of those 3 whose job is not safe. Because what is it? Is it Chris Greer's fault that they don't have a first-round pick this year? He was supposed to operate with 2. It's not his fault. It's not his fault that plan didn't work. They had a backup plan right now. If they're healthy, they don't trade for Bradley Chubb. If Bruce Beal and Stephen Ross don't tamper, they've got 2 first-round picks this coming season. Like, this was out of his control. He did what he had to do. Like, Bradley Chubb trade, like if you're expecting him to come in here and rack up like 20 sacks or even 10 sacks over the last half of the season.
So far, it's been a disaster. So far, it's
a disaster, but like it hasn't been worth the money. No. Like it hasn't been worth the money.
It's a bad deal. Right now, it's a bad deal. I'm not going to say anything on him until next year. Next year he's got to come back and have a great year and get back on track, and then we'll see. But so far, it's a terrible deal. So far,
like I think like the pieces are there, man. Like you have Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and Christian Wilkins. Melvin Ingram has also quietly been excellent this year. Andrew Van Ginkel is a good rotational piece. Emmanuel Ogbah is hurt this year. He'll be able to come back. Like you, on paper, you have a stable of pass rushers. You just have to be able to unlock them and put them in position to succeed. Like I don't think Bradley Chubb is just all of a sudden a bad player, but that kind of ties into what I was getting at with that report on from Outkick. One of those three men, their job is not safe. I think we know who it is. Out of Greer, McDaniel, and Boyer, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist or a total insider.
Boyer and Crossman, right? Although I personally would not fire Boyer. Crossman I would fire in a heartbeat. Boyer I would not.
Look, I think that those the whispers of Vic Fangio coming along with
he inherited these guys, so it made sense for him to stick with them for now, so he doesn't have complete upheaval, new defense, new special team scheme, new offense. Everybody's learning, so the grading, the curve was okay. Only offense this year, so of course the following year you're going to tweak everything that you inherited. You might make a change or two, I'm sure. But I would personally, for me, I would not let go Boyer. Crossman, I would, but not Boyer.
Yeah, Crossman's got to go. Like they're bad by every metric on special team. Yards per punt return, yards per kick return, yards allowed per each return. They are last or first. They're last in the good ones, first in the bad ones.
Yeah.
Crossman's got to go.
And I don't blame him so much on the return side. Actually, I don't hold that against Crossman. I hold the return part against Crossman because he doesn't have a returner. So I can't ask him to make a returner out of the blue. And I can't ask him to make Cedric Wilson, who's not a returner, just a possession guy for you, a real returner. But the other stuff, like the struggles from your kicker and then the struggles on the coverage units. Yeah. That's where Crossman lost it with me. I can't really blame him for the returns. Do you really blame him for the returns?
Do you really blame him personally for Jason Sanders missing kicks?
Yes, I do. It's your job to get him on track from last year, and if you can't get him on track, then you're somehow not reaching that guy.
I guess. So I mean, he's not good from 50 plus. That's been the issue. He was connecting, after the bye week. He seemed to have figured it out, and I think that's why he's still on the roster. Thomas Morstead has been good. I just talked to him yesterday, and he's it means so much to him, man, that he's having a season like this. Like he is after his injury a couple of years ago, I think the message he kept receiving was that, like, you're done. Like, it was a good ride, you had a good career, but it's over. And so to bounce back, I think really it matters. It matters to him. He's a good dude, good guy in the locker room too. I'm happy for him. But no, I believe that Boyer is probably out. That is my gut. That's my gut. That Boyer's out. I think they're going to try to move mountains to get Vic Fangio. I'm not totally sold on this idea that Fangio and Sean Payton are attached at the hip. I think it depends on the job. Obviously, if Sean Payton goes to Denver.
One more thing, by the way.
He goes to the same organization that fired him to take a lesser job?
No. I think I can see him going back to New Orleans with Tom Brady. I'm talking about Peyton. But Fangio, by the way, just a little thing. Remember, he coached Chubb. So that's also Chubb. Yeah. So he knows him a little better than the guys that are here right now. And maybe knows how to use him a little better and then get everybody else involved. I mean, listen, he's a much more proven. Come on, he's an established defensive coordinator, not a head coach, but he's definitely a hell of a defensive coordinator. So that's all a possibility. Everything that he inherited, of course, it should be up for decisions by the end of the year, because it's not like everything that you inherited was star-studded. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and look, man,
with Boyer again, I don't blame him as much as others do. I just
they had so many injuries on defense this year, and it's particularly impactful for this team to have injuries like that in the secondary, because the whole defense is built around that secondary. So they had to, I said it midway through the year, that they had to philosophically change what their defense is about. And that's hard. It's hard to do. That's hard to do on the fly. And, hard
to do when you don't have the talent to do it either.
I think they have the front seven talent to do it.
Like I've said, that defense has kept you in every single game this season. Not one game the defense cost you the game where they just got blown out every down and every drive and they scored 40, 50 points on them and your offense had no shot. Never happened this year. Not one time. Every time they kept them right there within the score. And it was just up to the power where the team is at on offense to finish it out. The offense for me is the one that's underachieved actually this year more than anything else.
Well, it's just because if the offense isn't lights out, I don't think the defense or special teams this year is good enough to finish the job.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So,
amen.
It's tough to. Yeah. It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask for them, but I think healthy. I think healthy like this, it should be a good defense, man. On paper, they really should be. They really should be.
What are you picking? Are they winning or are they losing on Sunday?
Jets are a 1-point favorite right now.
Yeah, 1.5.
That's hard, man. That's hard because you don't understand. Like for the people who think the Jets have nothing to play for,
they don't. It's just spoiler stuff. That's it. Mike White does have something to play for.
That's something to play for. You don't understand. There's bad blood between these teams. There's bad blood.
But Mike White ain't shit, bro.
He's not, but that defense is good.
Defense is good. He's just from Pembroke Pines. That's it, bro. He's nothing. He's a Jag. He's nothing. Yeah, and the Dolphins, even with that team, they should be able to control that offense.
Yeah, man. But you know how many times I said over the past month, like they should be able to beat the Chargers. They should be able to beat the Packers. They should be able to go up and beat the Patriots.
They were right there, bro.
But like right there isn't winning. Right there ain't winning.
Yeah, but that's you just said it. The defense isn't the one that's going to win you the game, but they kept you in the game. You just said it.
Where did I just break?
You just said right now that the defense and the special teams aren't going to win you anything. But if they just keep you in the game, there's only one side of the football that's supposed to win games and get things done and close things out. It's the offense, bro. That's where all the talent is at right now. That's where all the explosiveness is at. So even in the Chargers game that you talked about, the dude threw for 400 yards and can only muster one touchdown. That's all. They settle for field goal after field goal after field goal. What more you want from those guys against, two really good receivers, a decent tight end, a decent running game, and yet you limit him to field goal to field goal to field goal. Green Bay, you were right there to win that game. You were right there to win last week. Everything's been set for you to win. You just don't get it done. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
I think this is basic. I think it's the total opposite for the Jets this weekend. The total opposite of not having anything to play for. I think this is their Super Bowl right now. If they can keep Miami out of the playoffs after, like they took Tyreek Hill's offseason comment so damn seriously. They took that right to heart. And if after that, in their minds, if after he says that, the Jets, the who?
Oh, no.
No. After he says that, if they could play a role in keeping them out of the playoffs, you better believe Robert Saleh has them fired up and ready to go. So,
yeah. No, Saleh will have them ready to go and playing hard. There's no doubt in my mind. It's just I'm not intimidated by the offense of the New York Jets.
But like I said, now you're relying on Skyler Thompson and or Mike Glennon if Skyler can't finish the game out against it's strength against legit strength. It's strength, the Dolphins offense right now, strength against the Jets defense, which is a legit strength. So I don't know, man. I can't call it. My heart wants to say the Dolphins are going to win this game. My head is saying the Jets will.
You don't even have the balls to say that the Jets are going to win. Come on.
I just said my heart wants to say the Dolphins can pull it off because I don't want to see a 7-game, 6-game, whatever the fuck collapse. But my head is saying the Jets are winning this game.
It's fair, man. It's understandable. I don't want to cover a collapse. Nobody wants this. No, we're not in that media room like in a prayer circle with candles in the center saying one more loss. You know what I mean? Like we're not like levitating Daniel Oyefusi and saying like, there's no weird shit going on. Like nobody wants to cover this, man. Like I don't want to cover a collapse. I don't want to go through that whole off season about talking about what if this, that. So, but yeah, Ben, like I'm not very confident in them anymore. And this is now, it's 2 weeks back to back where I've said they're going to get right. And they didn't. So fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't know what the saying is for the third time, but I'm just not going to get fooled again. I'd love to be wrong. Did McCarthy get elected yet? Because he's been fooled like 6 or 7 times. All right. What are you working on ESPN so folks can check you out?
A little preview of Sunday's game, what to expect with Skyler, what the team's saying about Skyler, and preparing for some tough questions to be asked if they don't pull off the win.
Yeah. Unfortunately. But welcome to our world. We've had a lot of pain for the last quarter century. So you are in the pain game now with the rest of us. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch his work there at ESPN and catch him twice a week here, giving you the edge with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. Marcel, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Got it. There you go. Marcel Louis-Jacques. Remember, go to the website. Go to myedgedrink.com. You're going to see a lot of edge in 2023 and 2024. This thing is going to explode. More and more people are finding out about the best energy drink on the planet. Delicious, smooth, zero aftertaste, only 78 calories. And when I tell you delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste, I mean it. You're going to freak out because you know how it is. Most sports drinks have an aftertaste. Edge does not. Go to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O. Get 10% off. Edge Energy Drink, baby. You now have the edge.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
There it is. Thank you. As always. So Dolphins, Jets are favored by 1.5. You just heard Marcel talk about that. The over and under is 38.5. New York is minus 120 in the money line. Miami plus 100 in the money line. And it shows you the respect or lack thereof for Skyler and Mike Glennon. Earlier in the week, wasn't even Miami favored? I want to say they were favored. And I think it swung the other way. I think was it earlier in the week? I want to say that Miami was favored by 1 point. Yeah, they were. I want to say because I have it on Tuesday. Dolphins -1. So unless I read it wrong, but yeah, now swinging over. Yeah, 3.5 in the beginning. Yeah. And True Fin Fan says Jets 6, Miami 3. Oh, man. Gene Rosario says, Big O, why not Boyer? Gene, you obviously never listen to this show. You rarely listen to the show because I think I've talked about it more than enough, brother. It's all over. There are many segments that are probably already there on the podcast. I explain it over and over again. I'm not big on repeating content. when it's all there. But yeah, I'm not the guy that wants to fire Boyer. What else do we have here? Brett Dodger says, might be the best that we don't make the playoffs. Avoid a beatdown in game one and one and done asses and reset next year. But you have no draft pick to go with it. So it's not hurting you in the draft. It can only help to get at least some experience in the playoffs for these guys. Are you right that they probably, well, actually, like I said, as bad as that defense is, you don't get blown out. I mean, the Jet game got out of control only because the offense turned it over. It was a super tight game at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then the turnovers came and all that, and it was all hell breaking loose. But really, that's the thing, that as bad as this defense is, and it's bad, they keep you in all the games. That's why the part of intimidation with Marcel, it's like, yeah, the Dolphins don't intimidate you right now. I get it, without Tua, and they're not explosive and all of that. But it's got to be intimidating for a coach that it's a team that stays scrappy and stays right there with you with the bad decisions that the coach has made, or any of the turnovers, or not a great defense, or no impact on special teams. Yet somehow or another, they're never blown out, and they're always in games every single week. That's got to be not intimidating, but eye-catching. Like, okay, wait a minute, hold on a second. I know they're not good right now, but have you watched it? And that's, what we talk about all the time. Do you watch the games? Because, it's like Marcel now painted that brush like, oh no, Tua played all, he wasn't good enough in all the games. And that's just not true. You can't say that in the Buffalo game. He played an excellent game in the Buffalo game. He was not the reason why you lost. He was the reason why you should have won, not lost. But, it's kind of the way you got to look at it. But, I get it. But to me, it's got to be strange that I know the team is playing like shit. I get it. They've lost every week. But it's not like they're not in the damn game and they have a shot to win it. And that you can't be that bad. And it's funny how he says that he would build on what Lovey's doing, which, by the way, I've talked about in the last couple of weeks, that Lovey's team has been very competitive. And sure, that is something you can build on. But I think the Dolphins, with 8 wins and easily had chances to add way more victories, in other years when you don't have a quarterback and you don't have ways to really drive the offense, and you needed a break here or a break there to win a close game, that's different. This is, you actually have the talent, but for some reason, injuries or whatever, it has kind of stopped you and derailed you, or a young head coach making bad decisions. And unfortunately, as much as I like McDaniel and I would never fire him, he has to grow up a little bit. He has to get better as a game manager. He's not perfect either. Yes, sir.
What did you have the line for the game?
1.5 Jets.
I've got 2 for Dolphins.
Where?
Right now, I'm just looking at ESPN because I usually go there.
No. Don't go to ESPN. They're late. They're from the earlier in the week when the Dolphins were favored, but it swung.
Originally, Miami opened +1 and -1.
Oh, Frankie Fresco chiming in. Sean, when is Mercedes Moan coming to AEW? And by the way, Frankie, I apologize. I wasn't here for the Wednesday prediction. By the way, give me the fight. I didn't watch it. I don't know what happened. I bet you I can give it.
If he goes with the main event, which he usually does, it would have been Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin for the TNT title.
Okay, Darby sounds more like somebody from, some kind of detective in a TV movie, And Samoa Joe, that just sounds like a tough guy, And since I'm a big Tua guy, I'm going to go on the Polynesian end, and I'm going to go on the Samoa side. So I'm going to go Samoa Joe with the win. So what happened?
He lost.
Oh, damn it.
He lost to Darby Allin in Darby Allin's hometown.
Oh, see, you didn't throw that in there.
Well, I did. He wouldn't have thrown that in there.
You didn't throw that in there.
Listen, you didn't let me throw out all the things there for you.
He cheated. He didn't add that caveat in there.
I really was caught off guard with that victory. I really was, that they gave it to Darby Allin, but I guess they're gonna build it up. And it's a Mercedes Monet.
Monet
was they're calling it Monet. They've got different.
Did you ever watch History of the World Part 1?
I don't think I have.
Mel Brooks?
I don't think I have.
It's really funny. And
I've
so,
seen parts of it, but not.
And one of the guys from Carol Burnett, what's his name? The tall guy, not Henry,
Cormac.
Cormac. Harry Cormac. So he plays his name is Count the Money, but he corrects everybody. D Monet. It's Count the Money. D Monet. So when you say Monet, I always think of Harvey and think of it is Harvey, not Harry. Harvey,
you're right.
And I always think of Harvey and History of the World, D Monet. And I always think of that part where the guy goes to him, sir, well, you look like the piss boy. And it was true because the king, which is Mel Brooks, looks like it's Mel Brooks playing the piss boy also, right? And then he turns to him and they're all sitting there. He goes, sir, well, you look like the piss boy. And they were trying to find somebody to play the role of the king. So if they have the peasants, go against they would kill him and they'd get the king out of there. You know what I mean? And so, and he goes to him, well, sir, you look like the piss boy. And he turns to him and goes, and you look like a bucket of shit. I love History of the World Part 1. All right. Yeah. Oh, you got to watch it. You haven't watched History of the World Part 1?
I think I've seen bits and pieces, but I never sat through and watched the whole thing.
It's good to be the king. All right. What do you got?
No, supposedly she was going to be Soraya's mystery partner. Last night, Tony Storm was announced as the partner. I think something happens with Sheeta. I think she shows up there next week as the mystery partner, but a lot of the behind the scenes and everything else, the dirt sheets are all saying she's not going to be at AEW. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I'm going to say she'll be the partner next week. Sheeta jumps Tony Storm, starts a feud with them. They bring in Monet.
There you go. And you didn't get my bad prediction yesterday, Frankie. So thank you for the love on the super chat. The Triple S podcast, says Big O. The benefit of losing to the Jets is having fourth place schedule next season. I don't care about that. I want you to play well. I don't care. You can't play the schedule game. Schedule game does not allow you. In Seattle, everybody thought they were tanking, and they won more games than what you thought. Carolina was a terrible team, and now they're winning games. You know what I mean? Tampa Bay, you would figure they'd be better than hanging around 500, and this is what they are. You can't predict. So playing a second-place schedule, a first-place schedule, a fourth-place schedule, you think it might be easier for you, but then you can't predict from season to season, my man. So I would not go in that direction. That to me doesn't matter. I want a team that can beat the good teams, not the bad teams. That's what the Dolphins have been for 25 years. Good enough to beat the really bad teams, not good enough to beat the playoff teams. That's usually who they've been. And this is a team that can beat playoff teams. I know I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and I'm crazy, but I just think it's been more about bad luck. Harvey Korman. There you go. Thank you. Big O, MGM Sportsbook has Miami -2 now. There you go. Wow. That's crazy. All right. Frankie Fresco says, Boyer and Greer needs to go. Greer even missed out on the Jags coach who is going to get the Jags in the playoffs. Shaking my head. A lot easier division, too. It's a different division, my brother. Okay. They would be right there at the top of the division, right? In the South? Where are the Jags? They got like 9 wins? They're 8 also? Is it that bad? Oh, yeah, no, because... Okay. Kevin Beal, thank you for the love on the super chat. Where's the national? Oh, I'm with you on this. Coming down on Dana White. Imagine if Roger Goodell did that, he might be forced to resign. People are soft on Dana. Come on. That's ESPN, bro. That's all ESPN. Okay? They sleep with the UFC. They have a partnership with the UFC. You know, by the way, their company went down 8% on the stocks. yesterday. What happened with Dana White? It's disgusting.
I'm upset about it because they pulled the slapping show. The slap show is off the air. The TBS pulled it.
Why?
Dana White runs it.
Oh.
It was supposed to start next week after AEW Dynamite. It was going to lead right into the slap. I forgot what it's called, but the slap.
Wow.
Yeah, they've taken
the
it
irony
down.
is amazing.
Yeah, they've taken the show down.
Wow. But they have a TV contract. That's costing them money.
Yeah, they had something
because that cuts you a profit already.
Yeah.
Because usually you'll create the budget under that TV deal, and then all the other sponsorships become icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
But you want the expenses to come out of the original TV deal, so that gives your business model an opportunity to actually grow. Oh my God!
Warner Brothers Discovery took it off. It was supposed to air. First episode was next week after AEW Dynamite. It was supposed to lead right into it.
I can see social media. Why isn't Dana White on this? Why isn't he? Oh, he only slaps women.
If you even want to go worse, is that maybe it was supposed to be a publicity thing for a slap company?
No, because you called it off.
Well, no, now, but I mean, maybe they're
there's no way that you can think that's good PR to hit your wife. No. No.
Conor McGregor almost killed people on a bus.
Yeah, no, but again, he's a scumbag.
And they sold it. They sold the fight through that. I mean, that's
it's but I'm with you, my man.
No, I agree.
Kevin, it's disgusting how cowardly the media is on the national level with this whole Dana White story.
Again, it's the same thing with you know what I did find interesting when you were talking about ESPN real quick? Because again, they're in bed with UFC.
Yes.
I found it interesting because the NFL said they made no mention of the 5-minute warm-up thing. And then ESPN came out and said, no, we're sticking with our story. We were told
right, of course,
what they reported. But I found that a little bit interesting.
By the way, the entire hour of SportsCenter today, because while I was prepping, I had it on. Not one time did the Dana White story come up.
Oh, no. It hasn't been up. They show it once on the Talking Heads.
Right.
And I haven't seen it again.
That's it.
I haven't seen it, honestly, though, on any. It's like been swept under.
Yeah, it's been completely swept under.
And by the way, the Jaguars 8-8, Titans 7-9.
Yeah, see, so talk about the Jaguars coach on that division. Come on, man. It's I get it, but I'd like for Miami to be in that division too. Would be nice. Yeah, I saw that Jake Paul is signing with the PFL. He's also the representative. Also, he's going to be like the managing, like the agent for a lot of the players to help them in their marketing and all that kind of stuff. So he's trying to do all that. Yeah, and he's trying to also get.
They're making a play for Nate Diaz to make it Jake Paul against Nate Diaz.
Right.
But the flip side of it, which I'm not sure how it's going to work, is they want to do boxing. He wants to do boxing first and then the MMA match after. But you just signed on with an MMA organization. So I'm not sure how that's all going to be worked out. But that was the
Yeah, I read there where they're trying to approach him, but it's actually for the octagon.
Yes, that's a mistake if he does that with Nate Diaz.
Because apparently he's a wrestler.
Yes, he is. But again, it goes back to Brock Lesnar took on who was the first guy he took on? Frank Mir. Frank Mir got ran over, got trucked, was getting pounded. Just sat there, locked in a knee lock. A minute into the match, Brock Lesnar was tapping out. It was his first match ever.
Right.
But again, he withstand that first onslaught of the punches, and then he went into the thing. And those guys know how to, again, if you don't knock him out, if Paul
lock you down,
knock him out, then but
they're gonna lock you down.
Diaz, they're like little snakes, not making anything bad about him, but he slides around and he can go from lock to lock, maneuver to maneuver, and he just goes all out. And plus, but I guess the one thing though too is though he will stand and throw punches to say that he's tough.
Right.
So maybe again that's something that they're looking at, but that's a lot of money for PFL.
That's and a lot of what's it called, publicity too. That's the key. That helps take it off. Mark says, unfortunately, we cannot rely on Tua staying healthy, or otherwise we suck. Greer McDaniel got to add someone that fits and potentially takes over as a starter. Yeah, and it's going to be really hard to find that combination. Really hard. Pat in Asheville says, is it really surprising that the owner of a fighting league also fights his wife? Well, I mean, it's, no matter what you do, you shouldn't be hitting your wife, dude. You know what I mean? Come on, Big old Mike White was limited today after being full. Well, what happened? Did he was limited? Did he eat too much and he was full early and then he was limited in practice? Is that what it was? Listen, man, whether he practices in full or limited, I'm not worried about Mike White.
I think you're talking about your flip on the line when you're saying you had it as the Jets.
Yeah.
And now the Dolphins are maybe, I think that's
what
they're saying Mike White, I guess, went from a full.
Because the limited
is what maybe switched the line, I think, is where they were trying to.
That's what that makes sense.
Yeah, because I guess he had said it a few times in here and people got tired of it. It was like, we heard you. He's like, hey, I'm just trying to get the news.
I see. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That's a good one. That makes sense. Okay. I mean, I still think Miami should win the game no matter who's playing quarterback for them. Miami's got to find a way to win the game. Listen, we talked about this last week. What did I tell you? These 2 weeks are about who? Mike McDaniel. He failed last week. And if he fails again this week, it's a really bad look for him. Really bad look. Okay? And I'm not saying to fire him whatsoever. I like Mike McDaniel. But I'm not going to sit here and, not address what's really going on. Okay? He's got his issues as a coach. He's got to fix it. And so hopefully next year he can grow from it. What do you got?
We got Alan standing by, but I want to ask you one question. Mike McDaniel at the beginning of the year says that because it was when Skyler was going to start because of all the concussion stuff going on. He says, Skyler's starting, and I'm naming him on Monday because I make my game plan specific for that quarterback.
Right.
We've noticed that when Tua's not the quarterback, so far that quarterback's been knocked out of every game.
Yes.
And then the other guy, for whatever reason, I know Skyler's new into the NFL and they can make him look, but they look so, I guess, unorganized at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Is that something that Mike
you don't get a lot,
work on as he goes?
You don't get a lot of reps.
Friendly?
You don't get a lot of reps. And now you got a guy that hasn't been in your system all year, and he's not going to get a lot of reps. So it'll be even worse. And by the way, Mike Glennon's not very good as it is.
No, I know that. But doesn't that make Mike McDaniel look even that much worse, though? As far as, like, you got a guy getting knocked out. Like, if Teddy would have went through the game, not saying anything changes much. But now, all of a sudden, again, he gets knocked out of the game.
Right.
Here comes Skyler, who, again, not a lot of experience in the NFL. At preseason-wise, he's a king. But regular season, when everybody's changing everything, now that looks different. And then also now the coach has already put a game plan for Teddy Bridgewater,
right?
Not Skyler Thompson.
That's normal. Everybody does it because, remember, Sean, they don't practice nearly as much as they used to. So you only have a certain amount of time with them every day. And so you've got to get your starter ready with whatever the game plan in the playbook. So unfortunately, the backup is only going to get just a couple of reps. And that's why you would love a long-term backup, so then they have experience. They've been in the system for a couple of years, and they can step in anytime. But when you have this kind of turnover right now, because Mike just got here and he's establishing everything, it just becomes a difficult. I don't blame Mike for that.
No, but that's two different offenses, though, right? There's a different offense under Teddy and a different offense you're running under Skyler.
Well,
you're not necessarily running the same.
No, I think you're running the same offense. I think you just might be limited on certain things because Teddy's going to understand more than Skyler. Okay. So you can have more of the playbook with Teddy than with Skyler, only because of the experience factor.
Okay.
All right, let's get ready for hour number 3. Alan Poupart, Sports Illustrated. Yes, sir. Our EJDconstruction.com. Miami Dolphins reports.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
Yes, sir. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Alan Poupart from Sports Illustrated. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Yep, I'm good. Yourself?
I cannot complain after a double root canal yesterday. I think we're all right. I was having a lot of fun yesterday. That was fun. That's all I can say.
Always.
Yes, always a lot of fun. All right, so let's get into it. You agreed with what I was talking about with Sean, right? That it's kind of McDaniel's in a tough position with the backups, with the backup to the backup, right? In the preparation of the week. That it's hard to count on.
I think all along he's got to go forward with, imagining that Skyler is going to be the guy, and would be a nice change if the backup quarterback actually played the entire game without having to make an in-game change. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this when Skyler started scrambling. The game opened up a little bit more for him because obviously, dude, he's a young quarterback. To read the defenses, react, or I don't know if he has really anticipatory skills yet that are the kind that you would want. I think he has some, but not necessarily what you would look at a really experienced quarterback. So for him, there's a lot of growing. And it just seemed like when things broke down last week and when he was able to scramble around and buy more time for the guys, it kind of played into his hands. So what I'm going to ask you is, what did you see the same kind of things, and what could you do in the offense off of that to say, okay, do I do more boots and waggles with him? Do I move him around a little bit more? How do I do things to kind of maybe make his life a little easier? So how would you play off of that?
The thing I've noticed about Skyler that's interesting, and we talk about how Tua was so efficient all year, being on schedule, timing, and everything, if the play is as designed. Skyler's like the opposite. If the play breaks loose and he has to create something off schedule, to me, that's when he's at his best.
Right.
Like he's not somebody, you've never seen Skyler go back and then drop, boom, spot the receiver and fire it away. To me, that's not his game. And yeah, I think he could make a lot of things happen off script. And if you remember, to me, one of the key plays of the game, everybody talks about the pick six. Sure. Guess what? The Dolphins on their next drive had the ball in New England territory, and Skyler Thompson made something out of nothing, scrambled for, I think it was 11 yards for an apparent first down at the New England 25, but oops, Tyreek Hill was flagged for illegal shift. And on the next play, there was the pick. Right. And that was that. And not saying they win, but who knows how that game turns out if there's mistakes. Not, it's a really bad penalty too. And then at least they were in field goal range. So no, but to go back to your original point, yeah, Skyler is somebody, I don't think you put shackles on him where you tell him, stick to the play, stick to the script. If you got to ad lib, dude, ad lib, and let her rip. And obviously, you hope that nothing bad happens if he does scramble. But you can't coach or play like that.
No, exactly. But again, it's when I watch him moving around, he seems more confident in what he's doing, at times, and that's what I noticed at the end of that game. The signing of Mike Glennon. I explained it earlier. I said, look, bro, at this point, week 18, you're not going to get anything. Plus, if you had a decent option that's a veteran quarterback that's 34, 36, 37 years old and has a lot of experience, dude, that guy's not coming back for 1 week. He's not putting his body at risk for 1 week and then spend the rest of 2023 rehabbing. Plus, you're looking for a backup quarterback in the week where Damar Hamlin just had his incident. So they all have wives too, or most of them. And most of those guys, oh, yeah, honey, the Dolphins just called. What? You're going to play for a week? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? We don't need the money, this, that, whatever. You know what I mean? Mike Glennon he's still fighting for his career. He still wants to get back in the league. So you can find a guy like that. So to me, Dolphin fans that are overly critical about Mike Glennon, let's not get silly, bro. There's nothing out there at this point. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
You may expect to sign John Elway or Dan Marino in week 18. I mean, come on. Look, logically, this move is made anticipating Bridgewater's not playing. Tua's obviously not playing. And then if something were to happen with the Skyler, at least you have a guy who has some experience, who's not where the moment's not going to be too big for him, as opposed to Kyle Lauletta, who hasn't thrown an NFL pass since 2018, or Jack Cohn, who's never thrown an NFL pass in a regular season game. So under those circumstances, yeah, I can understand. I certainly I get it that you see Mike Glennon, especially since the way he looked when the Giants played here last year. But it's week 18. Ideally, you don't need him. He doesn't play. It just gives you a little bit of to me, it's like if something happens to Skyler, Mike Glennon gets to the game. I know some Dolphin fans on Twitter are like, it's over, automatic loss if Mike Glennon has to play. I'm not buying that. I think at least he gives you a fighting chance. Whereas if it's Kyle Lauletta or Jack Cohn, offense,
you're done.
No offense, then the game's over.
Yeah. By the way, if there's one thing that Mike can do, just, bro, sling it downfield. He does have an arm. You know what I mean? He doesn't know where it's going. But with Tyreek and Waddle, hey, just let it fly. And those guys will run under it. And hopefully you can hook on one of those. You know what I'm saying?
Got to protect him, though, because that dude can't move.
No, he can't move. He definitely can't move. He's a tall, skinny guy. He is the human periscope. Mm-hmm. I think he should have joined the Navy and then go in a sub, because if the periscope ever breaks, call Glennon. Let's go. And, just stick his head out and he'll look around and, so it's not a bad thing. Mike Glennon could be useful as a human periscope. You got to admit that. That's a good one for him, right?
He's tall.
Did you see that meme going around of the zoo that the Dolphins have now?
No, and I'm afraid to ask.
Well, they've got a cheetah, they've got a penguin, and now they added a giraffe. So yeah, that's kind of like it. So yeah, So yeah, see, you cover a team and a petting zoo. It's impressive.
I'm not touching any of those jokes whatsoever.
It's a joke. Relax.
I know it's a joke. I'm not touching those.
So, yeah, besides that, we're not insulting the penguin or the cheetah. Actually,
correct. We're just insulting the new guy.
Yes, exactly. But it's not like the new guy hasn't heard neck jokes since he was like in second grade. You know what I'm saying? I would imagine that they were cruel to him there. All right, so reports are that Tua is in the early stages of the concussion protocol. He's done, right? Like, even if they make it, do you think they're crazy enough to play him? I hope not, but
I don't know.
You're on the team. What do you think?
He's early enough that he's not back at practice yet, and practice is like, if I recall correctly, I think you do light stuff at practice. That might be the third of the 5 steps, and he hasn't been at practice. I don't want to go there. It just.
Would you play him at all this year? Would you play him? I wouldn't.
Well, to me, I'm like Mike McDaniel. I would like defer to the experts to the experts and medical personnel. If we're like err on the side of caution, if you're telling me that there's zero additional risk if he's completely cleared in him playing and Tua wants to play, then okay. But again, I would err on the side of caution and I would defer to medical experts. I certainly would not expect them to play, but that's just a gut feeling. It's not based on anything I know. And again, err on the side of caution.
You told me the Nowinski thing about Nowinski saying, "Hey, Sidney Crosby has given all his concussions time to heal." And I agree with that. I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think they haven't given him the time to heal. And I think that's what he needs this offseason. I think he truly needs time to heal, because what I'm afraid of is, even though it's not officially a concussion, the Buffalo game, I think it ended up being one, because this third one happened. I'm not saying easy, but I'm just saying it was a normal tackle in the NFL. My God, there was no viciousness of that tackle at all. It was just a regular tackle, and that shook your head enough that you're out. That tells me that, you're getting into that zone where you're more prone to it because you're getting your head rattled. And I think you need that time, like Sidney Crosby, because Sidney Crosby's had how many concussions already? Like 6, 7, 8, something like that easily.
Had a few, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but again, this is where, like I said, I would defer to the medical personnel. That's why it's not. I mean, you and I can say whatever we want based on what we know, what we read, but no, we're not doctors. So, anyway, Dolphins have to win before we talk about whether to play Tua in the playoffs. Because if they lose Sunday, it doesn't matter anyway.
I said last week that this was a big game for Teddy personally, for professionally, because next year you're going to want another job. And so now people are going to see that you've been, unfortunately, injury prone and really haven't, starred. So you may not be able to get the money you got this year as a backup next year. Flip side now for Skyler Thompson. Skyler has played more than any of us ever expected a 7th-round pick would play. You and I and most everybody else thought that Skyler Thompson was never going to take a snap this season, and he was going to be a pure spectator in a perfect world. That has not happened. He has now played several times now. How important is it for Skyler to show some progress in this game overall? Because if you're the Dolphins, do you say, yeah, Skyler's not the plan B we need. We might have to invest in a real veteran next year. That might be hard to find. Okay, do we like someone else in the draft? And I'll give you, I think I've mentioned it before, but Manny Navarro gave me a great idea. He said, what about Hendon Hooker? And Hendon Hooker's kind of the quarterback that that's where the NFL is going. The guy that can move around and throw the ball and athletic and all that. And obviously you got to work a little bit with Hendon Hooker, and he's coming back from a knee injury, which, by the way, also makes it really perfect for the Dolphins because they take a lot of chances on injured players. But anyway,
how doesn't work out well very often, though.
Yeah, I know. How important is it that Skyler actually shows some progress, because he might also be derailed in his attempt to make the roster next year if they feel they've got to even better that position because of Tua?
Yeah, no, I think Skyler's safe, and I've seen enough. And again, he's been in the same boat as Teddy, where they haven't had Teron Armstead. When Skyler's been in there, he hasn't had Teron Armstead, and don't think that doesn't make a huge difference.
Oh yeah,
and in fact, it's
although
funny
this week, wait a minute, this week. It really wasn't that much of an issue on the left. Run blocking, of course, that's always an issue for them. But the pass blocking was all right this week. It wasn't really like they were running for their lives this week.
No, it wasn't great, but it's just not the same. It's just flat out.
Even with Greg Little, it wasn't Greg Little. It was all right. It was serviceable.
It was all right. And again, this is weird because because my eyes told me it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible.
Right.
And according to the good people at Pro Football Focus, it was horrible. They're great. So I disagreed with them last year. I didn't see it as being horrible. It wasn't great either. And I've seen enough from Skyler throughout the season as a rookie 7th round pick. And I'm not buying this crap of comparing him to Brock Purdy. When he plays in the Super Bowl caliber team. Sorry, apples and oranges. I've seen enough from Skyler Thompson to absolutely definitively say there's something there that, short of him completely crapping the bed against the Jets on Sunday, that
it's interesting. You feel like I do about the Purdy situation. Like people don't realize that they're not making him do much.
Correct.
They're because he doesn't have to. It's like Ben Roethlisberger in the first Super Bowl.
Correct.
Kid, just facilitate and stay there. We'll do the rest for you. And that's what people don't understand. They make it sound like Brock, the people that actually don't understand this game, they make it sound like he's carrying the team. And what they're actually doing is doing a magnificent job of managing it and coaching it the right way for him. Plus, he's got all those weapons, a line, a running game, and a defense that shuts down the other team. So you don't have to score 30 points to win games in San Francisco. Just, God, it's so much different. Skyler would look way better in that situation.
Correct.
So would Teddy, by the way. Okay? I'm the first to tell you, and I'm not a real big Teddy believer, but if you put almost any decent, half-decent, skilled quarterback behind that line and that team, you're going to get production, dude.
Right. No, I saw some people like, the Dolphins messed up again. They took Skyler Thompson over Brock Purdy. I'm like, come on, really? We're gonna do this? I mean, nobody's ever accused Jimmy Garoppolo of being a great quarterback. He's gone to one Super Bowl and one NFC Championship game. I mean,
right.
And while at the same time, the 49ers keep looking to upgrade because he's not quite good enough. So,
yeah, and by the way, for any of the Dolphin fans to tell you, well, let's go get Jimmy G. Well, he misses more games than Tua.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, he's already missing more games than Tua this year, probably, right? Because he's been injured for several weeks already, so he's missing. So this is like the MO for him. Okay, so here's the follow up to you. Okay, and we're kind of forecasting a little bit, so it's a little unfair to you because we really don't know who's available. What's the plan B next year? Because you have to have a strong plan B, stronger than Teddy. Next year, because Tua is what he is. Yeah, he can play, but he can't stay healthy. So unfortunately, you have to play the game that you cannot rely on him to stay healthy. So what is a realistic plan B? Who would actually come here in your eyes to sit behind Tua and wait for an opportunity, but yet it's somebody that could actually run the offense?
No, we talked about this earlier this week. I mean, it's the same guys. But yeah. It's the Gardner Minshews of the world.
Could you get the guy in Carolina now? Or has he played too well now for that?
Who, Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Oof.
I know he's terrible, but not the last couple of weeks. It's like, whoa, you found yourself. I don't know. I mean, hey, dude, Rich Gannon figured it out after like 9 years in the league or 7 years or 8 years.
Right. That's an outlier, though. I mean, yeah, those guys happen, but they're rare. And again, the problem is if you're asking somebody to come in, you're going to be the clear backup. You're not going to get you're not going to get a stud. That's completely
no. You're not even going to get Garoppolo.
No, and I've heard Derek Carr's name.
No, you're not getting Derek.
With the Dolphins, and I don't want Derek Carr. Derek Carr's to me is.
But you're not getting him anyways. You're not getting Derek Carr. Derek Carr's going to be handed a starting job some bad team that needs a quarterback will hand Derek Carr. Dude, the New York Jets may hand Derek Carr the starting job.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
How about Joe Flacco? There you go. Here's one name for you. How about Joe Flacco?
That's interesting. That's interesting. So Sam Darnold scared you off, huh? So the last couple of weeks doesn't even give you any kind of inkling that maybe
I didn't see enough. I know, for example, though, against was it Detroit? It wasn't Sam Darnold. They won because they rushed for like 340 yards.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But he's played well. Actually, he's played well the last couple of weeks. For him, he's done a really good, because you're not going to get Geno. You're not going to get. I don't think Sam Darnold might be a guy. Baker Mayfield. Would you bring Baker Mayfield here? Can he handle being the backup without creating any issues?
No, I don't think I think Mayfield is in a good spot with the Rams because of the uncertainty with Stafford's situation, even though Stafford says he wants to play, but he's
although McVay, they say he's gone, right? Which
TV booth.
I don't know, that voice of his on television. I don't know about that voice of his on television. He's got kind of that little whiny voice. He has like a whiny voice. That's like...
No, but if he goes, maybe Mayfield. But again, is he going to be, he went to Carolina, which was great for him because he was going to start. And then he went to the Rams, which was great for him because Stafford was on, he was starting. Is he going to be comfortable coming in if it's clear to as a starter? No, I don't think that works. You need a guy who's like a backup, which is why Teddy was good in this particular situation, except he started 2 games. He didn't finish either one of them.
All right, what do you got? What do you got going on in Sports Illustrated, my friend? So, folks, check out at alldolphins.com because it is the law. Everybody worldwide, that is the law. The only way you become an official Miami Dolphins fan is by bookmarking alldolphins.com because this man produces about 47 articles a day. Okay,
87. Yep.
I am not misrepresenting him here. At least 47 articles a day. So check it out, alldolphins.com. Book it. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I can tell you one thing I have is all those potential scenarios that have been floating around as to what the NFL is going to do. Now, AP had a report that they're not going to complete the Buffalo-Cincinnati game. One of the possibilities, I heard Adam Schefter talking about, they're going to give the number 1 seed the option of taking the bye or home field advantage and giving the number 2 seed the other, which to me isn't fair to Cincinnati because if Cincinnati beats Buffalo, they're in line for that number 2 seed.
Yep.
So I don't think that's fair.
How about this? Matt Verderame brought up an excellent point.
Who's that?
If you do this now, then what's the motivation for the Bills to play this week? Because they can't get the number 1 seed, right? So why
they
even
can lose a number 2 seed? That would be their motivation.
Well, Cincinnati, they didn't lose the tiebreaker. They're a game ahead.
They would lose a tiebreaker. I don't know on what, but I checked it out.
Cincinnati has the better conference record. Is that what it is?
That might be it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if Cincinnati has the better conference record, okay, so then they do have a motivation because I'm thinking they would rather just lose to the Patriots and face them again, not have to deal with Miami because if Miami by some crazy idea wants to bring Tua back, then you've got to deal with that offense. So, I would figure that there is no motivation, but you bring up a very good point. They still have to fight for the number 2 because that still could end up being home field advantage if the number 1 gets knocked out. So, yeah.
Correct. And I'm not a huge fan of that because to me there's an issue of fairness. The other scenario that was brought up was expanding it to 8 playoff teams in each conference like they did in 1982 in the strike-shortened season, if you remember.
I remember.
You're old enough to remember that.
Of course.
In which case, Dolphins still would need to beat the Jets. There's no scenario under which they could lose and still make it. The only thing
I like my idea better. You got the dead week of the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
So this first week here, you play this week. Next week, Cincinnati and Buffalo play the game. So you settle that game. And no one's traveled. Nobody knows where they're going, so nobody's bought tickets, and nobody's bought plane tickets and hotels. So you're not screwing anybody right now. You tell everybody, hey, we're going to play that game, and we're pushing all the playoffs back a week, and we're just skipping the dead week, and we go right into the Super Bowl. And that's what I would do, but I don't know if they have some love affair with milking this thing for 2 weeks and all that stuff. And I don't, the Pro Bowl is not even a game anymore. It's just, skills competitions and stuff like that. So that's what I would do, is just make the 19th week and put it around the Bills and the Cincinnati game and all that. Man, maybe the kid is more, he's already like, communicating all that. Maybe he's talking by then, and you can have him from the hospital bed do the coin flip or something. Have some fun with it and promote the game. It would get crazy ratings. You know what I mean? But maybe they also don't want to play that game because then they have to relive the conversation of Damar, and maybe the league wants to just kind of put that away. I don't know.
Yeah, and here's another one that's been brought up as another possibility is put Buffalo. Sorry, I apologize about the things. Buffalo, Cincinnati, week 19, along with the NFC wildcard round. Then the following week, you do the AFC wildcard round and a bye in the NFC, or the NFC does divisional round, and then they have a bye before their conference championship. So then
that's exceptional, dude, because they're not involved in the wild card week.
Correct.
They have no shot at being involved in the wild card week. They do not affect that whatsoever. That is genius. I like that. That doesn't disrupt anything.
So I like that too. I'm not a fan of the idea of not finishing the game, and I understand the logistics of it. It sucks and all that. Yeah, I get it. But in terms of
it means fairness, so much. It means so much.
I hate, and maybe it's my Chiefs fatigue syndrome. I hate the idea of Kansas City being given the number 1 seed because they're not going to finish that game.
Right? Yeah, that's not fair. Right? It's not fair. Even though they may earn the number 1 seed on their own because they've done that already all year. But I understand that. I understand your point. That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. All right. So check it out at alldolphins.com. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Do they win? Normally, folks, for those of you that don't catch this interview during this time, he doesn't put out his predictions till tomorrow. So that's why.
Saturday morning. Here's what I'll say.
Sorry. So I always like putting him in a terrible position by asking him that.
Okay, here's what I'll say. If Armstead plays 55-45, they win. If Armstead doesn't play 55-45, they lose.
Super fair because he changes the entire game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sad. And it's sad. It's sad that the Dolphins, and here's the thing. We talk about him and Byron Jones and the bad luck they've had with both, but it's not a healthy sign that you depend so much on either guy that their absence creates such chaos.
Right.
Like the offensive line is still bad if you're depending that much on Teron Armstead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah, it's tough, man. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Alan, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up on Monday.
Have a great weekend.
Safe weekend, my friend. Thank you. There you go, the great Alan Poupart. And don't forget EJD Construction, man. They know how to get it done. They've been a proud sponsor of our show for many years now. If you live in Dade or Broward County, just Dade or Broward, call my friends at, of course, EJD Construction. Eric does an excellent job. They've been at this for, God, I want to say about 20 years now. They've got a AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's the owner's cell number. Okay, so you can talk to Eric. Big Dolphins fan, by the way. Loves all the local teams. So big Dolphins fan, but whatever you need, man. And you got to upgrade your roof now because a lot of people are trying to get, re-up their insurance for the hurricane season coming up next year. Well, this year that is. Well, guess what? A lot of insurance companies are turning a lot of Floridians down because if your home is older than 20 years, your roof may need to be updated and upgraded. Well, EJD Construction can do that for you and many more things. They can build a whole home for you. They can build a second floor, an extra room. You can upgrade that man cave and modernize it. You want to modernize that kitchen. You want to redo everything. One of our listeners had a fire inside their home and they need to remediate the entire home. They're doing that. They do anything and everything. Full contractor, custom home construction, major home remodeling, and fully insured liability and workers' comp. So if anyone gets injured at your home or your business doing work, you will not get sued. And if you don't know this, Please never hire anyone that is not insured. You do that, that's a major mistake because then they can sue you. EJDconstruction.com, 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Right. Somebody's asking about Fisher. Fisher actually practiced this week, but you can't count on Fisher. This is why I told you guys here in the offseason, in the regular season, oh, no, let's go get Eric. They went and got him, and he can't even stay healthy, and he hasn't even played. He's broken down, man, unfortunately. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show if you want to send in a comment or question or insult or any of that good stuff. And, of course, my favorite thing, you can always donate a little Bitcoin. Yeah, on Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is always my favorite donation to the show. Fisher was placed. Oh, he was placed. Oh, I didn't even see that. He was placed on IR today. I did not know that. All right. That's not good. So he came back to practice and got re-injured and out for the year. My man made some easy money. Whatever he made, a couple $100,000 that he made. Oh, there it is. Put the picture up. Let's see if we can put it up there. But yeah, that guy made some easy money, dude. He did nothing for it. Lakers beat the Heat last night, 112-109. That was it was just depressing to watch. Dennis Schroeder twists up his ankle, lights him up for 32 points. The defense, I don't care what anybody tells me about the ranking of their defense. Their defense is so unimpressive. It really is. No LBJ, no street clothes, and you still lose. They got Phoenix on Friday, and then they host Brooklyn on Sunday as they come back from the West Coast swing. But, wow. Depot fouling a three-point shooter, missing bunnies. Bam was awesome again, 30 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Bam is becoming the franchise player finally. Okay, he wasn't a franchise player before. I don't care what any of you out there try to tell me. Now he is playing like a franchise player. Franchise players must impose their offensive will. Butler was terrific overall, but again, you saw that three-pointer at the end. That's not his shot. And I know he made a three-pointer earlier, couple minutes earlier, and they needed it, but it's not what he's going to live and die by. And then Tyler sucked last night with 9 points, 4 of 14 shooting, and that's the guy you need, and he's got to come up big. And Caleb Martin also did not play well yesterday, too. Got to single him out defensively also with Caleb. He made a couple mistakes there, and you got to be better, Caleb. And Tyler, you've been awesome lately. They needed you yesterday, man, badly. This team is not good enough. They need their guys to step up every single night. They're not deep enough to get that kind of support, even against a crap-ass team like the Lakers. That was tough to watch, man. That was tough to watch. This entire season, 2019, you know what? I forgot this Poupart. I was going to ask him about the damn hockey team. Because that's the other one, like the whole Paul Maurice thing. I mean, I know they beat the Coyotes the other night, but Coyotes are bad, and they, still just got by them. But anyway, there's just the Heat stuff, and I hope they get better, man. We'll be going to more games now next month when football season ends here. We'll be going to a lot more games, and we'll be out there a lot, checking it out. When I come back from the Senior Bowl, then I'll be hitting the Heat a lot. Damar Hamlin making progress. He's communicating with his family, able to write. So that's actually really cool, showing the signs of improvement. His father addressed the team. I think that's awesome. Neurologically is everything is intact and it's responding and it's beautiful, man. You know, well, the only thing that I don't like about this whole situation, okay, is that they're not going to make up this game apparently. And I think the NFL should, because it's so important to everything. Do you see his GoFundMe page is up to $7 million? $7 million. So he's going to be able to give those kids a lot of toys, and then hopefully if he needs any help in his recovery, hopefully that will help him out in his recovery, man. But good news with Damar and his improvement. That's really, really fantastic and great for the family. My God, I can't imagine a father, a mother going through this. As a father myself, this would be just, oh my God, I don't even want to think about it, you know? But hopefully there's a lot of good that comes out of this this story that could have been really, really tragic. And now hopefully it's headed in the right direction. So it's good to hear that. Michelle Kaufman is reporting that Inter Miami signs Argentinian attacking midfielder Nicolas Chico Stefanelli. He was with the AIK Football Club in Sweden. They also are expected to sign left back winger Franco Negiri, a 27-year-old out of Argentina. Camp opens on Monday. And I know her story said no news on Messi, but I'm like, come on, man. Messi ain't coming here. Messi's going to stay in Europe and make a lot more money when it's all said and done. Look, the Moss brothers are going to kick ass one way or another. I don't care what anybody tells me. I know it's been, it was a disaster the first couple of years. And like I've said many times, any of us that have started a new business, a new venture, you're going to make all kinds of mistakes and you live and you learn. And that's what the Moss brothers had to do. And they made their mistakes. But to me, there's one thing I've never, ever wavered on with those guys. They are absolutely dedicated to winning and putting together a great product. So those of you that love soccer, you will get to enjoy a great soccer team when it's all said and done. Okay? It may not happen like right away, but it's in the process. Chris Henderson, he'll fix this. He's a good GM. I don't know crap about Nicolas Stefanelli or Franco Negri. But I bet you they're going to be pretty productive players because Henderson's got a great eye for talent. He's got that it quality that you need in a general manager. So, it's signings that most of us aren't going to get excited about. We're not going to know, but they did and I thought, by the way, kudos to the Moss brothers because Neville deserved that extension, and I'm glad he got that extension. He showed us something last year as a coach. I got to give him a little love, man. Big time. I saw where Le'Veon Bell, did you see that story? Le'Veon Bell was blaming Adam Gase for his failures as a player. Well, it makes sense because it's Adam Gase. Is that what you're saying?
If you're going to blame it on somebody, right? You go for Adam Gase.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. So he puts out some tweets, and Reggie Bush puts, NFL players need and deserve guaranteed contracts. There's a huge sacrifice placed on each player every time he steps onto the field. And the fact that the owner can cut you at any given time and not pay you is crazy. Le'Veon Bell says, but I was wrong. I was the wrong one in 2018. So this is what I love about Le'Veon Bell is he refuses to look in the mirror and blame the proper person. And so so some guy says he wasn't the same elite player after a year off too. Le'Veon goes, I was a better player. It's just hard to get off when Adam Gase is your coach calling dives on 1st and 10. He had dives in his first 10 plays. Sounds like Adam Gase, and it sounds just like Le'Veon Bell.
Dive right, dive left.
I can never use the story. I can never use that story. And I know why. I believe I know why his time in Pitt and it's born to secrecy. And I can't. So there it is. You got the penguin, you got the cheetah, you got the giraffe. What's the girl in the back? That's the girl from the movie. Oh, that's the girl from the movie. Yeah, so they replaced all the other faces except her. Okay.
Yeah, because I think it was.
I don't know anything.
I want to say it was
movie.
A Mark Wahlberg. No, it wasn't.
I don't even know anything about this.
DiCaprio,
movie.
I think, was the head guy.
Leonardo, really?
Yeah, I believe it was Leonardo.
Okay.
So they put Ross's head there. I'm not sure where the whole giraffe guy came from, but I know it's Mike Glennon, but I don't know where that whole.
That's awesome.
Was there, but that was there, and then also with the Eric Fisher move to IR, they claimed tackle Jerron Christian from Kansas City.
Okay.
So he was a 3rd round pick with the Texans, and
then they had him on the practice squad.
I
guess
guessing somewhere, but yeah, they claimed him.
Okay. All right. So they claimed the guy that. Yeah, another lineman. They don't. That chimed in earlier in the year. Like, well, why don't they get more linemen? It's like, yo, dude, they've got 4 of them on their practice squad. 25% of their practice squad is offensive linemen because they've had so many injuries. Jose, thank you for the love on the super chat. He goes, I think Davis Mills will be out of Houston next year. Maybe he can be maybe he can be or back up. Yeah, Davis Mills is a jag, but I get what you're saying as a backup, and he would come in and be a backup. So that is not a bad idea on your part. Frankie Fresco says, when Chris Greer left the Patriots won. That's something that you can say, but it really has nothing to do with it, but whatever. I like Big O, but Big O usually exaggerates on Tua. Yep, that's me. I'm exaggerating. Did you know Tua, by the way, first names, that Tua is the greatest quarterback ever, period. Tua is better than everybody else in the NFL sitting down. Tua, in his sleep, can win more games than every other quarterback in the history of the NFL. But me, I never exaggerate. Never. I'm not into exaggerating. What'd you say?
He's the best left-handed quarterback from Hawaii?
There's no doubt. The greatest left-handed quarterback from the state of Hawaii. No doubt.
You know what's sad? I was watching the bowl games, and his brother plays for Maryland.
Oh, yeah?
And his brother got injured.
Yeah, I saw that, yes.
And I was like, ugh. And he got injured because he ran 47 yards to try to keep a play alive. I was like, it's a damn family thing. The dad tried to instill it, but they're the rebels. They're like, well, if dad, it's like every kid, right?
I didn't see the injury. I didn't know that's what he
was running around trying to keep the play alive. I mean, again, nobody really blocked for
not
him.
A big guy, and he's smaller than Tua. I think he's actually shorter than Tua.
I believe he's taller, but he's not as thick as Tua. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me double check that right now.
I thought he was actually even shorter than Tua by an inch.
Actually. He looks bigger in the pads on the TV. But
Rosendo says 2023 is a new year and everyone should keep their jobs. McDaniel, Boyer, and Greer, let's give everyone a second chance. It's a new year, time for healing and forgiveness.
No, he's 5'11", so I guess about the same size. So yeah. But he's a pole compared to Tua. Tua at least he's got a little thickness.
Yes. Oh no, I mean Florio thinks he weighs 185 pounds, so it's whatever. It is what it is. What are you going to do? On the music side, to give you guys a little something here that I saw. First of all, today in music history, in 1968, Jimi Hendrix was jailed for 1 day in Stockholm, Sweden, after going berserk and destroying everything in his room at the Gothenburg Hotel. Booze was suspected to play a role in his behavior. Nah. What would a rock star be if you don't tear up the hotel room, right? I mean, you can't be an official rock star if you haven't trashed the hotel room. Bruce Springsteen in 1973 on this date released his debut album, Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Recorded in a single week, the album only sold 25,000 copies in the first year of its release. Both Blinded by the Light and Spirit in the Night were put out as singles, but neither made a dent in the charts. In 84, the Police on this date announced a March 2nd, 1984 farewell tour will be held in Australia. The group had been together for 9 years. Little did you know they would get back together again and again and tour a couple more times. And then they finally called it quits. Well, it's better than Kiss. Kiss has been on a farewell tour for 20 years now. I have a shirt from, I believe it's 99 or 2000 or 2001, that it has like the farewell tour on it. You know, because it was like the original guys that got together and they had the one tour and all that. And so, yeah, it's funny. In 79 on this date, Prince made his live debut at Minneapolis Capri Theater. Record executives attended the show but felt the singer needed time to develop his music. Little did they know, huh? And in 2003, Green Day singer Billy Joe Armstrong was arrested on suspicion of drunk driving after being stopped in California, speeding in a black BMW convertible. He failed the breath test and was taken to jail. So that is what happened on January 5th. There you go. Billy Idol, by the way, is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame tomorrow. It was scheduled for today, but they moved it because of weather issues. So tomorrow, if any of you are in Los Angeles, January 6th, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, okay, you can see Idol receive the 2,743rd star on the Walk of Fame. And for those of you that live in Southern California and you want to go see Billy Idol, maybe you meet him and take a picture or whatever, and it'll be on Hollywood Boulevard in front of the Amoeba Music, which is 6201 Hollywood Boulevard. Joining MC Lupita Sanchez Cornejo for the star unveiling will be artist Shepard Fairley and rocker Henry Rollins. Little Black Flag action for you, baby. Those of you that like Rollins, he's actually a cool dude. So Rollins was on, he was on Sons of Anarchy, wasn't he? I want to say he also had a role in Sons of Anarchy. So there you go. If you happen to be in the Los Angeles area, you have an opportunity to go see Billy Idol. And how about this? Metallica was streamed 1.6 billion times on Spotify in 2022. Metallica's coverage of the music streaming platform, which saw them reach 72 million listeners in 183 countries, marks the fourth year in a row that the group's songs were played more than 1 billion times on Spotify in a 12-month calendar period. You guys you outdid yourselves again. Shared the band on the social media site. 137 million hours of Metallica were streamed on Spotify in 2022. Whether you're a new Metallica or you've been listening for the past 41 years, we'd like to extend a huge thank you to the entire Metallica family. They kept up their 2022 schedule with their Helping Hands concert and auction in LA, an event that the group delivered the live debut performance of Lux Alterna, the lead single from their forthcoming album, 72 Seasons. So there you go. Can't wait. And I will be seeing Metallica next year with Greta Van Fleet opening up in Mexico City. Can't wait to go to that.
And they had done over 1 billion 4 times, 4 years. Because this year was that Stranger Things. In the one scene, they had Metallica, right. Was it
Masters of Puppet?
A puppet, yeah. So actually,
Masters,
right here.
Master,
yeah. So I thought maybe that, but they've already done it.
Yeah,
just this year. I mean,
you should know a lot of Metallica, right?
I know.
Freaking wrestlers,
they
must use Metallica all the time to come into the ring and all that. I mean, I know Enter Sandman. I'm just saying, so many.
Well, Enter Sandman was the song that was Sandman used that in ECW,
right?
You know, so a lot of those things. But no, I mean, a lot of them are the hype videos. Used a lot of the
man.
Triple H also used
Yeah.
When you did Kings of Kings, what did you use? Oh man. God, what did he use? I have to look it up.
Somebody might help you.
Yeah, at WrestleMania, he used one of them leading into.
Yeah. Zachary says, Billy Idol, nice day for a white wedding. It's a nice day to start again. Yeah. Don't you love it when I scream in the middle of a casino?
Yeah, I know.
And they're all looking like, what the hell is wrong with that guy?
Somebody goes.
What's he doing? That guy, he's on alcohol. That guy, what's wrong with that guy? So, yes. Your Majesty, the citizens are revolting. King Louis, yeah. And they stink on ice.
Double check because somebody in here said today's Mercury Morris's birthday.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Well, happy birthday, Mercury.
76.
You are one of a kind. No doubt about that. Can't even blame you. Sounded like an easy win at the beginning of the season. I don't know what that means. I have Dolphins 8.5 over win total. My hedge, my bet with Jets plus 2.5. I need this. Yeah, but I'm not covering my bet by betting on the Jets. That guy's doing it. I'm not doing that. I can't. I'd rather lose the money. I'm not sitting there rooting against the Dolphins.
I remember weeks ago we were like,
not doing
that's easy.
Yeah, easy.
Easy. We got
We're
it.
8-3.
Yeah.
8-3.
Yeah.
8-3. Thought we had it. Thought we easily had it, to be quite honest with you.
You want to hear the latest? I know it's wrestling, but Vince McMahon has petitioned. He's going to come back. He's coming back to the WWE.
How'd the stock do?
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, and it hit, I think, right at about 4. So don't they close at that time, or how's that?
Yeah, it closed 4:30.
Okay, so I have to double check that. But
tomorrow,
the interesting part is he's coming back to sell the company.
Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute.
That's back.
Okay, so that actually will improve the stock.
But the board doesn't want him back. So now what he's going to do is, since he owns the B stock, he owns all the. I don't know different in stock. So please, maybe somebody can help me on the board and knows more about this. He owns a lot of the B stocks, the majority of the B stocks, which is the controlling voting interest for the WWE stocks. So he's going to appoint 2 other people to the board to vote him back in.
Oh, okay.
So then he can come back in and sell the company, I believe.
It's what the Peruvian president wanted to do. The Peruvian president wanted to get rid of the entire Congress, bring in his own government, and change everything. So he
I honestly thought this was like a whole wrestling thing, because I saw it on all like the dirt sheet news that are coming out. But then I just saw Wall Street Journal.
Wow.
And so they've been on the Vince McMahon thing, like they broke the story of all of the other stuff too. So it's like, it's going to be interesting. It's going to see how this affects everything, because they were doing quite well.
Yeah.
Things had changed for the better. And now,
wow. It's crazy. Richard says, I bought that ticket in Vegas and out enough that it would cover my trip if I won. I booked a flight back to Vegas at 7 wins. I may have cursed the Dolphins. Dolphins are cursed on their own, bro. You didn't do anything. That ain't you, my man. Richard, there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. All right. It's our team. It's just, it tortures us, dude. That's all I can do. It's all we can do is hang in there and hope for the best. Can't look at it any other way. If we do, we drive ourselves crazy. I mean, it's already driving us crazy as it is. All right, we are out of here. We thank Matt Verderame, Marcel Louis-Jacques. We thank Alan Poupart. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, the man that masters this entire platform every single day. The Brunetti family, as always, great sponsors and great supporters of our platform. Of course, Frank Fiore. Yeah, baby. Steve Calabro. He's somewhere around here cracking the whip, somewhere in this ginormous facility. Remember, the second floor poker room is amazing. We've got the champions a bar where you can place wagers on tracks all across the country. First floor, we've got, so many gaming machines. It's like 900. Remember, this is a non-smoking bar. Huh? There's what? Oh, yeah, no, they are the loosest slots in Florida. That is the law, okay? It's right there. It's on the web, on the state of Florida. It is documented. No casino in Florida has looser slots than Hialeah Park. So come on down here, man. Enjoy yourself. And again, non-smoking, so you won't have people blowing smoke in your face. They do have an area outside that's under roof, and it's got ventilation, all kinds of great fans and all that. And that's called the smoking slots. So the folks that do want to enjoy their cigarettes or cigars, they can actually go outside and vaping and whatever out there in the smoking slots. But inside, it is non-smoking, places to eat, Fridays and Saturdays. They got a DJ out here. You can dance, all kinds of stuff. We've got boxing coming up, by the way, on the, I believe I'm looking it up right now. I want to say it's the 24th. Yes, it is. February 24th. We've got world champion boxing coming back here to Hialeah Park. So lots of things to do. Bring that loved one out here and enjoy it. What do you got?
I want to ask you one last thing. I know we're wrapping it up.
No, we're good.
Did you see what happened with the Gators basketball team yesterday in Maryland?
No.
I think it was Maryland. They left the uniforms at the hotel.
Okay.
So they had to go back, but it was rush hour in Gainesville. So they didn't make it back to the game in time. So the game started 1-0. The Gators got a technical foul.
For being late.
Maryland got the technical foul. Gators, I guess, made the technical foul. They started the game, tipped off at 1-0.
Wow.
Once the uniforms arrived.
That's amazing.
I thought it was. I turned on TV. It's like, all right, opening tip, and it's 1-0. I'm like, what?
That's funny. Like that. That is good. All right, let me make sure here. No super chats in here in the last moment. Rosendo says, good show, Big O and Mr. Stanley. Have a good rest of your evening. Time for Big O to invite a witch doctor to Hialeah Park to break the curse. Well, I want to invite him to Hard Rock Stadium to break the curse. We're good here at Hialeah Park. They're just growing here at Hialeah Park. They're fantastic here at Hialeah Park. We don't need to bring the witch. We can get the witch doctor from Hialeah. You are correct, Rosendo, because I can find an old lady with a little Santeria, but I got to take her to Hard Rock. That's where I got to take her. 50-yard line. We got to do some kind of a spell or something. Go into the locker room. Go into the practice facility. You know, as we say in Spanish, un despojo. That's what they need. Invite un babalu. That's it. That's what we got to do. All right, we will see all of you tomorrow morning. We are not on the road. We're in studio tomorrow, actually. So next week we'll be at Acura, but tomorrow we will be in studio on Friday. Remember, Sunday we will get you ready for the second to last game for the Miami Dolphins in the 2018 season. That's right, I said it. They're going to win on Sunday, and they'll come back for a playoff week. I don't think they'll win after that, but, I think they'll come back for a playoff week. I think they'll get it done. But at 11 a.m., we'll get you ready for the Dolphins and the Jets, and we'll have Cam Wolf. We'll have Marcel Louis-Jacques in our post-game show. Cam Wolf will be joining us tomorrow to talk a little bit about the whole situation with Damar. He covered that. He was at the hospital. He was at the game. He was at the event. So it'll be a good conversation that we will get to delve into with Cam Wolf, because that was one hell of an experience, because it was an experience for all of us just watching it. I can't imagine what it was like to be there at that moment. So we'll talk to Cam Wolf about that thoroughly tomorrow here on the program. I appreciate all of you out there. So does Sean. We love all of you. We thank you for supporting us every single day like you always do. Apologies about yesterday, but root canals are root canals, and boy, that stuff was painful. But now we are better. We feel good. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. O Show.